I see you in the chat blaming me for being late. I see y'all talking all that shit. Q on CP time. Q can't be on time. This gonna be on Crunchyroll before it's live right now. That was y'all. That was chat. I ain't gonna throw nobody under the bus.
Ain't nothing wrong with Crunchyroll.
Huh?
Y'all got some Crunchyroll got some money, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Look, we'll take the deal. We'll take the deal. You gonna have to
absolutely
how much
take the deal.
Cost?
I think it's like $9.99 a month, something like that.
How wide do they got Black Samurai?
Unclear.
All right. Well, we gonna make sure we fit that in. They got that one basketball anime. We'll fit that in. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of anime my garbage men and weed smokers be watching, but we'll probably be in that rotation.
The podcast of garbage, weed, and anime.
Hey, don't you add that last part on there. Don't you add that last part on there. I was going to say we got a lot to talk about, but we kind of just going to vibe this one out. Shout out to Greg. He's trying to put it together. He's trying to put a rundown. Ain't gonna lie. This gonna be a vibes cast. You know what I mean? Like this ain't gonna be, we gonna break it down and give you analysis. We gonna talk about the vibes. And the first thing I want to talk about is this quarterback class. Because we ain't talked about the quarterback class. We're so focused on the Browns and everything. We haven't talked about the larger NFL picture. This draft class has caused debate. Is it Caleb Williams? Is it Drake May? Some people think Jaden Daniels is better than all of them. Some people think that J.J. McCarthy is a fucking top 5 pick. We just getting wild, and it's the wildest thing I heard. Bo Nix in the first round ain't a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea. Horrible idea.
Hey, horrible you want to draft Kenny Pickett? like basically the same thing. Except for Kenny Pickett, a little bit better of an athlete.
Let's be real. 4 quarterbacks are going in the first round. That's it. Like it's going to be short.
Look, and the third one that's going to go in the first round. Should it? But y'all do that. You know what I mean? That's the league just do shit like that. He should not go. Think about this, man. Here's what's crazy to me. Lamar Jackson had to get traded up to stay in the first round. J.J. McCarthy. about to slide up in this first round with ease. That's nuts.
No, I think he's the betting favorite to go second right now to the Commanders. I think he's officially the betting favorite to go number 2.
That says everything about what people feel about the Commanders, and it's not positive.
Yep, perfect. Rex Fortune. Perfect super chat. Perfect timing. If the rumors of the commies love the nickname, wanting J.J. McCarthy at 2 are true, Miles and AB should be calling Jonathan Allen and Deron. Hey, Jonathan Allen want to come here. Look, man, we not gonna say no.
Hey, look, man, we know what's gonna happen. Jonathan Allen will be a Brown. Deron Payne maybe. But one of these days it's going to happen. Whenever you hear that AB has his targets on somebody, it's just a matter of time.
He got the target on. He got the target on Jonathan Allen already.
How long we been talking about those two?
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah.
He gonna wait, but it's gonna happen.
We gotta wait for the next. We gotta wait for the next super chat until we start talking about the rules, because that's.
But let's talk about these quarterbacks. I've done some brushing up on these guys. I'm gonna give my raw, honest opinions about these quarterbacks, and I don't think it's gonna be a popular segment for me.
Oh God, here we go.
I think I think Caleb Williams is clearly the best quarterback in this class.
I was about to say, I finally got you to turn it around on Drake May. Finally got you. Drake
May is clearly the second best option. but I think he's clearly number 2 to me. He does have some strong traits. He's super young at 21. Didn't know that about him before I really looked into him. 6'5", 230, good athlete, can move around, quick release, quick processor. This is going to make people mad when I say this, but I promise you, just please hear me out and don't overreact when I say this, because it's not saying what you think it's saying. Very similar as a prospect to Jimmy Garoppolo coming out of Eastern Illinois. Now, before people start reacting, I'm not talking about Jimmy Garoppolo throwing with his fucking eyes closed at the Super Bowl that we found out about. I'm talking about who we thought Jimmy Garoppolo could be when we were just watching him play at Eastern Illinois, right? There was a lot of hype on Jimmy. Urban Meyer said that this was the best college quarterback that he's ever seen. Shout out to that Urban Meyer take. But people thought that he could legitimately surpass Tom Brady in Tom Brady's prime. And he played at Eastern Illinois. So safe to say, if Jimmy was doing that shit in at a major college like Drake May was doing, the hype probably would have been louder. I think I see some similarities with them as prospects, not necessarily the whole injured thing, but quick releases. Jimmy Garoppolo had one of the quickest, smoothest releases coming out of Eastern Illinois that anybody had. Super accurate with the touch. Go back, look at them Jimmy Garoppolo highlights. Now, again, I'm not talking about professional Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. I understand we are 10 years removed from Jimmy Garoppolo, the prospect, but that is who I'm not talking about. Jimmy Garoppolo play for the 49ers. I'm talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, the prospect. Please respect that difference. But when you look at him, the same pros you have for Jimmy Garoppolo as a prospect, you have for Drake May. The difference is the level of competition for Drake May, obviously more impressive than a mid-level FCS conference that Jimmy Garoppolo was in. I think he was in Ohio Valley, which is not even a good FCS conference. It's not a Power 2 down there. So, it wasn't even good competition for that. But they did make the playoffs and play well in there with Jimmy G. But again, it's FCS. It's only going to go so far. Also, he's much bigger than Jimmy Garoppolo. 6'5", 230. Also, he's much younger than Jimmy Garoppolo was. So what I'm saying is this young man at age 21 is as polished as Jimmy Garoppolo was coming out of college. Now, he has similar issues. Like, I think if you just look at him, like, I don't think television does his size justice because he does not look 6'5", 230 when you watch him on TV. Like, that's the one weird thing about him. So when you see him get ran down by some of these guys, you're like, what the fuck happened there? But then when you realize he's 6'5", 230, it makes more sense. So he's probably a decent athlete. I think he could be good, but I think he's definitely somebody that would benefit from going to a good situation. Like, if you throw him behind a bad offensive line, if you throw him in a bad situation, you can break him. And that like, he's breakable. Caleb Williams, you got to try hard to fuck that up. Like, you don't even have to be a genius to get that right. What genius you got to figure out with Caleb Williams? He runs fast, he's really quick, and he throw that thing far as fuck, on time, accurate.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. We're talking about putting him in a position to be successful. I feel like the Bears lost the keys, putting him in a pretty decent situation as far as weapons. They got to figure out that offensive line a little bit just to make sure that he has a level of protection so he don't get hurt. But, a lot of quarterbacks in worse situations to DJ Moore. And
I worry less about young quarterback situations when it comes to weapons, and I worry about their support when it comes to offensive coaching, right? I think that matters more than who your weapons are for a young quarterback, because if you have a smart offensive coordinator like the Texans did with CJ Stroud, you don't waste time trying to make CJ Stroud something he's not. And when you try to make a player something he's not, like the Bears did with Justin Fields, you break him. Now, it's debatable whether Justin Fields, like how much you broke that to get him to where he is today. Like, it wasn't a guaranteed lot coming out of college. Like, he had a lot of issues as a prospect. So, not saying it's the same thing. But I think that really does matter. Like, if you put Drake May in a system where he has to be on time, accurate with the football, he's allowed to break out every once in a while, but you just want to make quick decisions, he's going to cook that first year. If you put Caleb Williams in a system where he's allowed to drop back and see it and be a game changer, he's going to cook that first year. Or he's going to have those moments where you're like, God damn. Because, you know what I mean? That shit's transferable. And what we found out over the last few years is all of the technique stuff that we like about Drake May, there's more questions about is that transferable to the NFL than it's just raw athletic ability transferable, right? Look at the guys who were looked at as projects. All they had was raw athletic ability. Now, Pat Mahomes went to a perfect situation. Same could be said with Lamar Jackson. We didn't really get to see Anthony Richardson, but it looked like it was trending in a really positive direction with him. But those guys were looked at as projects, but their raw athletic ability really carried them early in their career to get enough snaps where they can improve. I think the same is true with Caleb Williams. Now, I do think he's going to have issues, right? Like, he's definitely going to throw a lot of interceptions. Like, he's definitely going to throw a lot of interceptions. And as much as I think this is kind of fucked up, there are going to be a lot of defensive players who are really going to want to tackle him.
Why do you feel that way, Q?
Because we see how stupid people be. We see how people be reacting to all this stuff.
Oh, like when he was at the USC game?
Yeah. And look, as much as I think the people reacting to that stuff are stupid, that don't mean none of them people in the NFL, dog. Like, yeah. Like, there are people who probably think dumb shit that play defense. Probably a good amount. Like, I'm not going to act like we live in a utopia. Like,
hey, man, I'm telling you right now, some of these dudes are going to try to tee off on him.
Yeah.
Every single time. Every single time they think they're going to try to tee off on, bro. They really are.
He going to have to earn some respect. I think he's tough and, like, he going to earn it because I think below all of that shit is, like, a really tough dude. Like, I've seen that man take a bunch of hits, take a bunch of licks at Oklahoma, at USC. He's a tough dude. And eventually they'll realize that and respect him for it. But yeah, that first year it's gonna be a little rough for I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little rough for the homie, man. He's gonna have to really put in them stripes. And he played for the Bears, and we don't remember the last time the Bears had a good quarterback. We weren't born. Okay. Man, so you got that whole thing working against you.
I'm just thinking about it, bro. Like, it's definitely gonna be some. Do they play anybody in the AFC North this year?
No, they played the AFC North last year, right? Because we played them.
So I think it's they out of our division, right?
Yeah.
We need to find out. We need to find out who they playing, because there's some players on defense that's go see them painted nails, and it'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think Myles Garrett gonna be one of the people trying to hurt him, but TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, he better hope he don't find himself across from what's that dude name in Las Vegas?
You talking about Max Crosby?
Oh,
do they play the 49ers? You got to see Nick Bosa.
Yeah, you got to see Nick Bosa probably. I don't know, but they Cali boys, so like they might understand it. Like they kind of surfer, like they surfer. Like, you ever hear the Bosa dad talk? He sounds like a stereotypical surfer dude from like an 80s movie. It's like, yeah, man, Joey, this is great for you, bro.
I don't know.
So, you know, I know people make all kind of assumptions that are.
I'm rooting for Caleb, man. I'm rooting for Caleb. I hope he plays for real.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Look. He gonna get. They gonna test him. But I think he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna stand up. He's a tough dude. Like I think people kind of get caught up in all the dumb shit with him. This dude runs like Lamar Jackson. You don't run like that at 6 foot if you're not tough. Okay. Like, remember he played on that like fucked up knee against Utah, and then was making plays on that knee, and then his defense kept selling him. Let me tell you, that man lived through the USC defense experience. Like, ain't nobody more mentally tough than him. Okay. Because I know he's mentally tough because he hasn't been charged for murder of their defensive coordinator or Lincoln Riley. Okay. Like wasted a generational talent in Caleb Williams. Couldn't even win a fucking bowl game. Hashtag Lincoln Riley's the new Cliff Kingsbury. I viewed him as the same. Like,
leave Cliff alone, man. Leave Cliff alone.
Hey, man.
We weren't even gonna talk about Cliff today.
Cliff ain't even in the league no more. I really gotta let that one go. But seriously, though, Lincoln Riley is a fraud. Like, a fraud. Like, think about all these great teams he done had. What has he done? And then every year he doesn't do anything, people point out the fact that his defense sucks, like he's not in charge. Oh, yeah, Lincoln Riley's great, but his defense sucks. What are you talking about? That he's in charge, bro. He's in charge. Well, it's the Big 12. He goes out the Big 12, brings the Big 12 to the fucking Pac-12, and he's going to be in the Big 10 getting defense clapped on him again like it was last year because Iowa gonna score 30 on this motherfucker. Okay? Shame on you, Lincoln Riley. Shame on you. Gonna get in the shootout with Iowa. Watch it happen. In Nebraska. Watch this shit happen.
You feel the same way about Lincoln Riley that I feel about Ryan Day.
Man, I feel the same way about Ryan Day.
I can't stand Ryan Day. I can't stand.
It's too much fraud in the Big Ten, dog. You got James Franklin. You got holding it down for the homeboy up in Michigan. Like, I'll take the charge, Jim.
I'll take the charge.
I'll take the charge. Crying on TV while you taking that man charge. What is wrong with you? That's a pride. Got to that press conference talking that nonsense. I was
oh my God, I'll take the charge.
Is that not the energy that man carries?
That's what he did, but you ain't supposed to say that.
Play that Project Crack song. She could be a corporate lawyer.
We're all got to work Project Pat.
Yeah, got to. All this ridiculous is happening in the Big Ten, man. The Big Ten gonna be hilarious, though. Oh, we got Nebraska. Like, I don't even know who coaching them no more. It's just Nebraska. They gonna do something. Like, I promise you, Nebraska gonna do something. Oh, Ryan Day. Who else out there coaching in the Big Ten, man? Oh, Chip Kelly. Oh, we got Ryan Day and Chip Kelly, right? Ain't that who the offensive coordinator is for Ohio State now? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Y'all bring it. Get excited, Cove. Y'all gonna put 40 up on Rutgers, 14 up against Michigan.
Quincy, I just wanted to jump in for 1 second to let you know that Matt Rule is the coach of Nebraska.
Matt Rule?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be hilarious. That's going to be hilarious. Bro. Ooh, that's going to be funny.
Matt Rule? Matt Rule!
The most hilarious guy.
Matt Rule. They about to... Bro, Lincoln Riley really about to let Matt Rule come back to glory on his name. Like... We're not talking about how fucked USC is this year. Like,
they're cooked. They are cooked.
Ooh.
Like, we joke about the Big Ten, but there's still some good football teams in the Big Ten.
No, that's what I'm saying. Man, all these unserious coaches have better teams than this unserious coach.
Like, I detest Ryan Day, but Ohio State should be way better than they were last year.
My man about to take the charge and beat your ass. It's crazy out here, dog.
Oh, man.
That is nuts. Hey, shout out to Michigan for making history.
Absolutely not shouting them out for that. Akamai.
hey, that is one of the most shameful ways to get a first. That is absolutely the most shameful first in all of Black history. At least in sports. That's gotta be. Ooh. Yo, ain't nobody claiming that. You know who the first Black head coach of Michigan football was? Nah.
First Black coach because you decided to take a charge.
Woo, right or not.
It's some levels to that one, boy. It's some levels to that one.
I'll take a grenade for you.
I do not believe we are the podcast that is well equipped to have that conversation.
Oh my goodness.
We can make jokes about it though, 100%.
Oh my goodness. We'll leave that to our veteran podcasters out there. Take that one and run with it. But yes, that is what we will be referring to that man as. The rest of the year.
Mr. Take a Charge.
Oh yeah. He was crying about it too. That's
I could believe that shit, man. It's like, man, be a man. What are you doing?
It's one thing to talk about free Batman. It's another thing to be out there. Take me.
Oh man. Hey, Jim Harbaugh got to be the best homie ever, dog. Because what are you doing?
Dog, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Lord. Man.
Oh, man. Hey, all right. Speaking of taking the charge for you, man, people were so mad at the charge that Jerry Judy just got at his bank account last week.
Oh, I like how you worked that one in.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you worked that one in.
Okay. Today. You know, button up all the way to the top. I'm professional.
So you locked in today. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we locked in. You know, I started out with take a charge. You don't know what I'm going to finish with.
Let's talk about Jerry Judy, man. Let's talk about it.
First thing I want to talk about. Hey, man, people choose real fast who they think is capable of being immature and not in a feud with two people who were being pretty mean to each other, right? Like Mark Schlereth definitely going out of his way to antagonize Jerry Judy at this point.
100%.
Like, come on. You out here calling him a bus in the quote tweets like you a fucking teenager. like really, dog, really. And here's the thing that bothered me is people will have all of this energy to pop their chest and write these articles about how Jerry Judy needs to mature and how Jerry Judy needs to be greater than the noise and how he just needs to focus on football. Now, keep in mind, tweeting something about the equivalent of a text, I'm pretty sure everybody sends a fucking text. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's so locked in, they don't contact anybody. Like, this ain't anime. We don't move to mountains to get better and level up in the middle of the fucking season and show it with the beard and shit. Like, obviously, he saw it, he responded, he had his few minutes, he probably went back to work. So, like, whenever an athlete does something that's not working, it's like people ready to be like, get back to work. Like, people got this middle management fantasy about football that like drives me crazy. Two, hey man, Mark Schlereth is a 58-year-old Ring of Fame member for the Denver Broncos, and we hold that man to a lower standard than a 24-year-old wide receiver.
Thank you.
At the lowest point of his career.
Thank you.
Like,
Why are we acting like Jerry Judy is the one who needs to be more mature when the 60-year-old man is going out of his way to antagonize a 24-year-old NFL wide receiver who, let's be real, wasn't put in the best situation, in the best position to succeed with the
and
Denver
here
Broncos.
is my thing that fundamentally I just don't fuck with about how some media members carry this out. Hey, man, be critical. Talk your shit. Make your jokes. But don't do the shock Pikachu when somebody responds. Right? Don't cry respectability politics. I just called that man Mr. Take a Charge. If he wants to quote tweet this clip and tell me to fuck off, hey, that's well within his rights. I respect it. But that don't mean that he immature for responding to it. I would
like if you just got some, like if you just signed a contract, you got an extension, you in a different situation, you feel good.
You try to feel good, and the first thing you see on your phone is this hating they've been on you for years.
Hating on you,
talking about your character, talking about how you ain't got no pride, talking about how you would be cut back and hit. And then he doing that. Jerry Judy is 24 years old. Mark Schlereth is 58 years old. So you know nothing bugs somebody at that age. There's some old motherfucker talk about some, back in my day, he wouldn't even make the cut.
Like, what, bro? Like, hey, well, back in your day, he probably would have been playing with a good quarterback too. Let's
if John Elway had Jerry Judy, he would have been balling. Let me tell you something. All right.
Let me tell you something.
They would have figured it out. They would have figured it out, right? Like
he probably would have been a little bit more prideful, maybe a little happier in the facility playing for the team if his quarterbacks were ass.
And here's the thing that's crazy about the whole Jerry Judy outrage. The Browns paid this man, like people are acting like the Browns paid him $30 million or some shit. I'm like, they gave him $17 million a year. Now people reacted before they knew the details of the contract, but the details were so skewed that the initial report was, people were like, hey, that don't look right. And instead of people using their common sense and thinking that the Browns really just give $46 million to somebody who was on a 5th-year option. No, everybody went and did stupid Cleveland. That's dumb. And I'm just like, Andrew Berry has earned the benefit of the doubt at this point. And also, this Deshaun Watson contract y'all say has destroyed the Browns salary cap situation. We keep signing motherfuckers. What are y'all talking about? Like, on one hand, how many guys do you have to sign to uplift your $230 million quarterback? But also, well, the Browns, they just can't get better because their quarterback costs so much. Which one is it? Pick one, dog. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Either he's so mid he has to be carried, or he's so expensive we can't put nothing around him. Or option C, maybe the Browns know more about the salary cap than you. I'm going to go with option C. Option C, it's usually right. Like, feel like Andrew Berry knows more about the salary cap than you.
Have we even talked about the details of the contract? Because that's what makes it the most hilarious to me.
They got out in 2 years.
Like, even if you look at the breakdown of the money, it's like, okay, this year he's making a little bit less than $19 million. And people were like, oh, $19 million for Jerry Judy. It's his 5th-year option, plus a signing bonus for signing the extension, plus what he's gonna make this year, like after the games, which is the league minimum because they're restructured. So that's how it comes out to 19. Now, keep in mind, the following season, so that's what, 2025? It's 16 million.
The 19 million is not the cap number, right? Like the only number we should care about as fans is the cap. Who cares if he's getting $19 million? It's not your money. Like, he's getting $19 million.
Point. I want to keep talking
about this. It's only affecting your squad $3 million this year or something like that.
But I want to point this out because this is what makes it hilarious. So in 2025, it's 16 million. So it goes down. Also keep in mind, salary cap goes up every year.
8%.
2026, it's 13 million. So he makes progressively less money as the salary cap continues to increase every single year. And people on the internet were laughing at the Browns and saying they're idiots before they even knew what the contract said. All I'm saying is, just maybe give the Browns like a day or two, or just wait until you know what the actual details of the deal are before you start making jokes. Because now, if he plays well, people are going to find those tweets and they're going to be mad when people are jumping all over those tweets and calling them idiots. You can save yourself a lot of trouble if you just wait a couple days. That's all I'm saying.
See, look, we have a tendency on the internet to have access to so much useless information that we can fool ourselves into thinking that we know it all. Everybody does it. Right? I actively try in my life to make sure that I stop being a know-it-all, because you learn enough useless shit on the internet, you start thinking you know it all. That's what it was. It was a know-it-all response. Oh, I know about the cap. I know how contracts work. I'm going to simply divide this number by 3, and that is what he's going to make, even though it says up to in the fucking tweet. Like...
People are just annoying, man. Like, people are just annoying. It's annoying.
Like, why are we pocket watching with the Browns so hard? Why? Like,
why. You know why.
He ain't got nothing to do with Deshaun. Like, with Deshaun, I get it. I get the pocket watching, because y'all not actually talking about the salary cap situation. You're mad that a man that's been accused of what he's been accused of is making $46 million a year. That's normal. If we just boil it down to the surface, like, that's normal.
That's normal. We get that.
You mad at Jerry Judy just because Deshaun got money? That don't make no sense. Like, Jerry ain't got nothing to do with that.
It bleeds over into everything they have to say and how they perceive the Browns as a whole. They hate Deshaun, which we already said. Valid. We get it. We understand that. But at some point, you got to be able to talk about the team and what the team actually is outside of Deshaun Watson. They didn't do it last year, which is why people was cooking them on the timeline when they kept winning games and they made the playoffs. And I would hope that you have learned to just be like, you know what, the team. Yeah, Deshaun's not a good person, or I don't like him, and I hope he fails, and all of that. That's fine. That's valid. We get that. But you should still be able to talk about the team and what the team actually is.
Which brings us to this Vegas over/under. How does 8.5 make sense? Now, look, take it while you can get it, because 8.5, I mean, that's a generous number. That is a generous number. But here, I made this point in a reply chain to your tweet. Mm-hmm. I sounded very old when I said that. I don't know why I said it like that. And a quote tweet to your tweet. But people are reacting as if Deshaun Watson's presence on the Cleveland Browns is so bad. He's going to be so bad at football that they're going to get healthier and worse. Now, look, if the over or under was at like 10.5, okay, that's a tough one. Because like they might not win 11 games again, because that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles. But 8.5, you don't think these motherfuckers gonna get to 9?
Keep in mind, our over under was 9.5 coming into last season.
Also, what did the Browns prove last year?
Besides the fact that they're actually a good football team.
But what did that defense prove?
One of the 5 best defenses in football.
Okay. They carried, against playoff teams, a very limited DTR to a victory over a playoff team in Pittsburgh. They carried PJ Walker over the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. By the way, if you ever want to know how tough the AFC North is, San Francisco ran through Pittsburgh, thought that shit was sweet, and then they lost to PJ, got that booty tapped by Joe Burrow, and they got demolished by Lamar Jackson. That was the best team by far in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Got smacked by the AFC North. But that point aside, they win with a quarterback who throws a ton of interceptions and turns the ball over in Joe Flacco. So much so that people fooled themselves into thinking they were winning games because of Joe Flacco. Now, did Joe Flacco help in some situations? Yes. But let's not act like that Chicago game did not happen. Let's not act like that man didn't dig holes, that he buried him, that he did not dig himself into holes that he didn't rescue himself from. Did he not? He did it. There were 2 games he didn't do that. Houston in the regular season and New York Thursday Night Football.
I'm about to say the Jets, yeah.
Every other game, my man was digging himself some holes he had to dig out of. And he did it. But we were like, oh, yeah, that's about Joe Flacco, not about the defensive player of the year commanding 5 people on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
So my whole point is people are making this year a referendum on Deshaun Watson nationally. Well, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be good, so the Browns are going to be good. It might not matter if Deshaun Watson is good, because if you don't think Deshaun Watson was good last year, how do you explain it? They were plus 63. How do you explain it? He was 4-1. How do you explain it? He beat the 1 seed on the road. So either he was really bad last year and it didn't matter, which people, again, like, what's the general take you hear nationally about Deshaun Watson last year? It's not that he was slightly above average. Like, that's what I think. But nationally, I'm hearing what? Mediocre, was bad. Joe Flacco played better than him. Right? Is that the quote? Those the quotes?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's the things that they're saying, is that Joe Flacco played better than him. Okay. Well, if that's true, Deshaun Watson has never shown in his entire career with the Browns, I'm not even talking about the shit in Houston, that he's an inhibitor to victory for the Cleveland Browns. So why would he be one magically this year, even if he's not good? They had a plus 63 point differential. Now, that's not the best in the NFL, but that was actually really good. Like, the Chiefs had that. Again, where is the evidence that they're going to be a worse team with a healthy Deshaun Watson? Now, I don't know how good Deshaun Watson is going to play. I don't know how much Deshaun Watson is going to elevate this team, but people aren't talking about, hey, we think the Browns are going to make the playoffs, but we'll see how far they go because of Deshaun Watson, because that's an appropriate conversation.
Absolutely.
They're talking about whether this team going to win 10 games or not because of Deshaun Watson when they won 11 last year. Now, I'm not saying it's a guarantee that they get to 11, but it's a better bet than what they making it out to seem. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, at some point, I wish we could just be like, hey, I think that man garbage is a human being, but we do got to talk about, like, the actual implications of the team he plays for. And you know what's going to be the funniest thing, Cole? They're going to go from this team is on the shoulders of Deshaun Watson, and he's going to fail and crumble under that pressure, right? That's the big narrative they're going with, right? If this team starts out 5-0, well, you know, Deshaun's getting carried. It's going to switch to that. They're going to switch to him getting carried. And look, I don't care like what the narrative is, positive or negative with him. I'm just saying, the fact that y'all be flip-flopping like this is just so annoying. And then y'all bring the whole fucking team into it. Like, it's annoying. I got to talk about this, not because you don't think Deshaun Watson is going to be good. I'm not going to react if you don't think Deshaun Watson is going to be good, or if you don't want Deshaun Watson to be good. It's because you think the Browns are going to be ass. When I just saw this team win 11 games with 5 different quarterbacks.
I always forget about Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
I always forget about Jeff just going.
Yeah. And think about that. None of the quarterbacks they won games with outside of Deshaun Watson were good enough to where they felt like they needed to get him back. Hell, one of them was so bad that they put that man fourth on the depth chart. Why do we think this had anything to do with how the quarterback was playing last year? Like, obviously, this team's defense was carrying them. Here's how you know the defense was carrying them. Cole, name me the game that the Browns played bad on defense that they won.
Colts.
Here's the thing about that game. Myles Garrett won you that game.
Yeah, he did. He did. But collectively, they did not play well at all. Myles was spectacular. But the team as a whole,
that's what I'm saying. Even when it wasn't the Browns defense, it was still somebody on the Browns defense. Do the Browns?
Oh, is this me?
I think we're losing Quincy here.
Yeah, I think Q is well, you start the show late and then you're going in and out. You're having technical difficulties. What's going on, man? What's going on?
While we wait for him to figure that out, Cole, do you want to react to a couple of these super chats we got piled up here?
Yeah, let's get to these super chats while Q trying to figure out the way he froze with his glasses is hilarious.
All right, we got one from Professor Chaos. Freak Nasty explained the hip drop tackle 20 years ago. I put my hand upon your hip when I dip you.
We did. Put your hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip. Hey, that's a great song. That is
a great song.
Oh, man. Oh, thank you for that, Professor Chaos. We needed that while Q having his technical difficulties and figuring that out. Let's just get through these super chats.
We got one from Ray Rags here. I think JJ McCarthy is the new AJ McCarron, a QB who just happens to be the starter on a championship team. I think he's a little bit better than AJ McCarron.
Yeah, he's definitely better than JJ. Definitely better than JJ. But I do see where you're coming from, no, but he's better than JJ. And he gonna get drafted really high. I don't know if that's the appropriate thing to do, but we gonna see.
I think I definitely agree with this next one. With the hip drop rule, they need to start calling holding on the offensive line more.
Yeah, this is the thing about the rule changes that kind of bothers me. It feels like pretty much all of them that we've seen have benefited the offense in some way. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's rarely been anything that actually helps defensive players play defense or plays defense the way that the NFL wants them to play defense.
Right.
So there has to be like kind of like a give and take here. Like, okay, if you're banning the hip drop tackle, that's fine. But what are you going to give us that makes the game easier on us, as opposed to us having bearing the burden of all the responsibility and having to make all the adjustments for the offensive players? There has to be something where the offensive players have to make an adjustment for the defensive players too. And I think that's something the NFL definitely needs to work on.
Yeah. I definitely think, there were those reports, who knows if they're true, about that the NFL wasn't happy that the offensive numbers have been down the last couple of years, and that's why they did this. I hope that's not the case, but I don't know. That's just the cycle of the game. You know, offenses get better when they come up with new schemes. We'll have a few years where the offense is better. Defenses will adjust. We'll have a few years where the defense is better. And I don't know. I agree. I don't like that they're trying to force all of these rules to help the offense. But especially, and like, how are you supposed to tackle somebody from behind now even? Like, do you go for the legs? Like,
people were posting all these rugby clips. It was like, see, this is the appropriate way to tackle. This is what you're supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to look. And I'm like, it makes sense in theory, but also this isn't rugby.
Right.
Like this is like, no disrespect to rugby players. I feel like these are a completely different level of athletes we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I don't think that's like an apples to apples comparison. I understand what people are saying, though, but it's also like these are better athletes that may not work. Oh, look, there he is.
Yeah, so what I was saying was Myles getting
You're just catching up on super chats, but you were gone.
Yeah, I had to restart my computer. I think it's storming right now where I'm at, so I think that took out the internet and started acting weird.
But do you guys want to hop back on that topic, or do you want to just finish these super chats?
We said everything we need to say about it. We just gonna end up talking more in circles.
All right. We can muscle through the
We're
rest.
just gonna end up getting shit off that we've been wanting to get off for months. We need to leave something in the tank for July.
All right. We got another one here from Soul Train. Not gonna lie, it's refreshing to nitpick specific positions to improve on to compete for important games instead of wishing we had good players in general.
Hey,
you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. And I always want to say this. I feel like when we talk about the Browns, we don't ever put things in perspective because the Browns have been awful for the majority of our lives. And I feel like people don't appreciate what they're doing right now for real. I feel like it's way too much complaining.
I put it in perspective at least once a week because I can't believe people don't put this shit in perspective more often. I watched this team have 3 Pro Bowlers in 20 years. Okay. We got 7 on the roster.
It was like Joe Thomas, Josh Cribbs, and Phil Dawson. 2 special teamers.
Joe Thomas, Josh Cribbs, Phil Dawson. That 1 year, Jameer Miller.
Like,
Joe
on,
Hayden.
Man. Joe Hayden. No disrespect. Yeah, we can't disrespect.
Let me tell you something right now. The all Cleveland Browns team from 99 to 2016 gets fucking demolished by this year's team. Okay? Like ran. Like not even one of them games you sweat. Like honestly, they would be like playing the Jaguars. But the Jaguars got a better quarterback. Like that's what we'll be playing the first 7, the all-star team that you could fill of all 17 years of the Cleveland Browns reactivation would get. We wouldn't even worry about that game. We would be worried about overlooking it. Dead serious. You're like, oh yeah, what do Tim Couch? Who's he throwing to? Braylon Edwards. Oh, okay. Martin got that locked up.
Hey, chill. He gonna have Josh. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have Josh.
Josh Gordon? No, we got Denzel on that.
You got Josh. Hey, he finally gonna have a decent offensive line. We can't forget that one either.
That's true. Look, that offensive line gonna be decent now. They got Mitchell Schwartz. They got a good little offensive line. Joe Thomas talks every day like he's glad he retired what he did. Okay, tell me what year Joe Thomas retired. Okay, somebody in chat, please remind everybody when Joe Thomas retired because there's not a day in Joe Thomas's life where he acts like he wanted to block Myles Garrett. By the way, we need to talk about this shit, man. Did you see Jordan Maeva have PTSD?
Oh yeah, let's talk about it real quick. Hey, Greg, we'll get to the rest of the super chat in a second. We gotta talk about this. This is funny. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, this is funny. They was talking about was it Jason Kelsey asked him?
Yeah, Jason Kelsey was like, "Who's the toughest to block?" And then someone said Micah, and then Jordan Maeva was like, Myles Garrett. Okay. And then all 3 of them started talking about how fucking impossible it is to block Myles Garrett. Hey,
it sounded like war veterans.
And you know what's crazy, Cole? Jordan really only know about Myles from what he did in them joint practices. It must have been nasty. Okay.
He was like,
no. No. Hey, he was lining up for them one-on-ones like, oh God.
He was like, certain guys beat you with speed and certain guys beat you with power. Myles got both.
And he got bend.
He was like,
not just Myles. Bend. Myles has generational bend, like Von Miller level bend.
He was like, bro, he beats like he's so fast. He'll beat you, and then you forget how strong he is.
So you trying to quick set? Yeah, bro. No.
And notice the other guy they talked about.
Michael
Was
Parsons.
Micah?
Yeah. It's really
Did they
those
mention-
two. It's
they
really
mention
those
anybody
two. Yeah.
Did they mention anybody else?
They mentioned the style of somebody else. And they also mentioned how, hey, look, you can protect yourself against that. And look, I always bring this up. It's Melo Bron. People appreciate Melo because we understand when we watch Carmelo Anthony play basketball, that is a lot of dedication that led to that, right? That's a lot of hours in the gym. It's a lot of hard work to get that jumper right. It's a craft. It's an art to get to that level of dedication and hustle that Carmelo Anthony achieved in his career to be the kind of scorer that he is. And that's cool. That's why we appreciate TJ Watt, because he's dedicated. He works hard. He has an endless motor. He's super strong. He works super tough. He's a Watt. And that's going to get him in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what, man? You can aspire to TJ Watt. That's why they like him. They can aspire. If I work hard, I could be a little bit like TJ Watt. Ain't not a goddamn thing, any single one of us can do to be anything like Miles Garrett. There ain't nothing to aspire to. You ain't got it. Right? The same way that, look, Melo can do all that shit. That's cool. But Bron can just do more. Okay? Hey, it's real impressive when you see Melo go back in, back around, up, down. Yep. Then he hit the elbow to hit that fat man jumper. Ooh, art. And then he looks away, looks at the crowd and goes, yeah. And then you see LeBron get the ball, 2 dribbles, smack. Same thing. Okay.
Ain't nothing you can do about Miles, dog.
Hey.
Nothing you can do about that, bro.
Look, TJ be putting in all that work. I understand why TJ is so bad because, TJ be putting in all that work. He be trying to get that approval. He's kind of like Drake. He wants people to love him.
Hey,
And then Kendrick spends 45 seconds on a beat and it's over. Okay? People are relitigating your entire career. It's over. It took nothing for Kendrick to do that. You're going to have to come up with the whole fucking album to try to come back at him. He's just going to have to drop a tweet in a rap song with some beats behind it, and it's over. Because you can't. Prince outlived Mike Jack. Bam, done. Don't talk to me ever again. For all the dogs in a pet cemetery, it's over. It's over. It ain't never being close.
Hey, can we talk about the album for a little bit? Can we talk about the? We gotta talk about the future album.
Why not?
We gotta talk about the future album real quick. Hey, man, I don't care what nobody say. That's my GOAT. I don't care. I don't care. There is no big three. There is no big three. It's the Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
and it's the Mount Rushmore, and Future is on it.
By the way, didn't even need to advertise the fact that he was going to do it. That's the thing that's so much better. That's the thing that's crazy. You just listening to this song, like this beat going. Who is that? Kendrick? Choose violence? Oh. Oh, whoa. Rewind. It's over. He split 4 bars on J. Cole and he took you out in just a half a bar. Okay? He called you a light pack. Like it was like I don't even know why I'm entertaining this.
That Prince outlived Mike Jack line was so unnecessary. It was necessary, but it was unnecessary. After it wore off, I'm like, man, why did Mike need that stray? Why did Mike need that stray?
Hey, Prince somewhere walking around like, yeah. Real motherfucker stand up. I know Prince somewhere waiting like, yeah, man, I've been waiting for somebody to say it. Like, I've been waiting. Real recognize real.
Yeah, man. Future did what he needed to do. They snuck The Weeknd in there in that second song. They snuck him in there so he could be part of the beef. I peeped that. humming, harmonizing, just to make sure that he's present in the beef against Drake.
I don't like you.
Yeah,
I was in that
that's
sweatshop.
crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
That's
Hey,
crazy,
man.
dog.
Hey, it's time for a break, Drake.
He can't take no break. Time to get that booth.
We saw what Pusha T did to him. Okay, no disrespect to Pusha T. Pusha T is dope, but if Pusha T can put you in a coma, what you think Kendrick gonna do to him?
I don't care. I want to find out. We need to find out. Say something.
Drake.
Say something.
Drake. Remember, I know he started to make trap music in the last few years. And he started talking like he about something. Now he wear bulletproof vests and shit, wearing these goofy ass outfits at his concert. Drake, don't fool yourself into thinking you like that. Like, it's okay that you not like that. What Vince Staples says, you was raised real good, homie. Just act like that. That's good. That's all you need to do, bro. You got good parents. Like, nah, Drake, don't do this. I'm iffy about if Cole can do it. Like, I definitely know you ain't about to be the one. Like, ain't no way.
Cole gonna say something for sure. Cole
gonna come back. No, Cole gonna come back. I just don't know if Cole, like, I don't know if he can come back to that same level. Like, I believe in Cole, but there's a little bit of a delta.
He's put out way too many fire verses and put out way more music than Kendrick has. So I'm not just gonna write him off just because Kendrick had a great verse. Like Kendrick needs to put out more music. That's what Kendrick needs to do. Like don't just drop this verse and then go back and hide. Like we need more music now. Since you want to be outside, since you want to be active, like drop some music. I'm not putting him over. I'm not putting him over.
Look, if there's somebody who can challenge him, it is J. Cole. I will put that one out there. I'm a big J. I've been listening to J. Cole since high school, since 2010 or whatever. What was the first sideline story? Whatever. No, Friday Night Lights. The mixtapes. Used to go on that piff. Day one Cole guy. Back when he had the buzz cut and was doing the funny faces in that fucking workout video. I've been a Cole fan for a long time. I think Cole has evolved greatly as a lyricist, as a rapper, finding his melody, all that shit. Hey man, Kendrick is a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Oh, here we go.
Kendrick, like Kendrick has 2 albums that are historically important. Like, damn, Pimp a Butterfly.
Man, you didn't even say Good Kid, Mad City. That's the most important album.
Good Kid, Mad City is my favorite. Okay, it just didn't have the cultural impact that the other 2 did. Okay?
I would argue that it did.
It's close. It's close.
I didn't even take it further. I'd argue it's more important than both of those.
To me, it is. Okay.
You're not the only one who has that.
I would argue that, there's some points in Section 80. Like,
hey, I'm going to be real with you. Section 80 is my favorite Kendrick project, but that's just me.
Yes. Look. This hurts me because you know who I was early on in high school? Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake. It has been a great 10 years thinking that they 3 on top peacefully. Nah, now they making me pick sides. And if I'm picking a winner, hey, dog, I got to be the analyst that I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see what J. Cole does. Maybe, look, J. Cole ain't been putting no corner like this in a minute, right? The last time he really came at somebody, it was like more him kind of lecturing. Like, it wasn't like he was put in the corner, felt like he really had to do something. Now he's challenged. So he might bring out something different in him. Maybe Cole gets better because of this. But it's going to take an elevation. You know what I mean? Like, it's like being Pat. Like, hey, Lamar got to play at Pat's level. Like, Lamar's dope.
You saying Kendrick's Pat?
Yeah. Yeah. When we're talking about this artistry, yes. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Drake's not Pat?
Huh?
Drake's not Pat?
Drake is absolutely not Pat.
Even with all the numbers, all the stats?
We're talking about artistry. We're talking about artistry, right? Okay. Like the numbers, the stats, that's cool. That's great. Hey, Bill Russell got all them stats, all them rings. He ain't better than Mike.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's what it is. You know, Drake was on top of rap when rap was the most popular thing in all of music, and he benefited from that. And that's dope. That's a great accomplishment for Drake. But we talking about artistry, we talking about throwing that ball, Cole. If we talk about the craft, oh come on. Hey, Drake still say shit that make me go, what the fuck? Like, okay. He said something in first person shooter that made me, I gotta look that up. I gotta look up the lyrics of first person shooter now, because he said something in that song that where he was talking about how he's great, and it was such a lame bar. Oh, it was terrible too. Oh, my twos are terrible like a toddler, some shit like that. And I'm like,
they be terrible like a 2-year-old.
Yeah. Shut up.
They send their verses back to me and it'd be terrible like a 2-year-old.
Yes. Drake, get the out of this conversation. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Cole smoked him on first person. You smoked him on first person shooter.
That's not Drake's thing. Look, Drake there for the melodies. Drake there to hit a nice little flow.
They did another song, though, that was on Scary Hours.
Mm-hmm.
Way better performance from Drake. Way better performance from Drake.
Yeah, look, man. We happy when Drake just stays in the same level as a J. Cole lyrically, right? Like, we are happy when he's just, all right, you know, Drake ain't the biggest player on the team, but he making threes. Like, you know, we happy.
You know what's making me upset?
We ain't ever expected Drake to drop the engine.
You know what's making me upset? We ain't talking about Future enough. It's bothering me.
I feel like Future is such an interesting thing in all of this, because he is the best like melodic trap artist ever, and he pioneered the genre. But it's hard to compare him to other rappers because his style is just like, it's judged differently than what you would judge those dudes by.
I think that's unfortunate. I understand why. But if when we talk about bodies of work, we talk about impact, we talk about just putting out good music consistently.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person who's done it at the level of those three is Future. All right, I guess you could, and I ain't trying to make nobody angry. I guess you could argue Nicki Minaj too, but Future. Like, that's my guy.
I ain't even going. I'm about to say something. Nope. Yeah, Nicki Minaj. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. You feel.
Doja Cat in there too. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to make nobody mad.
we ain't trying to get doxxed.
We trying to keep this podcast affordable.
But yes, Future needs to be up there for sure. Absolutely.
It's a tricky situation, but Future's definitely there. Definitely since I moved to Atlanta, I've understood the appreciation of one Future Hendrix. It's different out here, dog. They really love him.
Man, I'm in Cleveland.
By the way, can we talk about this real quick? Because I was talking to my girl about this. How the fuck did anybody think Designer Panda was a Future song? Remember, everyone was like, it sounds like Future.
Mm-hmm.
When has Future ever rapped that fast? When has Future ever made something that fast? Like, he didn't even, that always bugged me when people were like, he's a Future clone. How?
Like, people try to sound like Future now, but it's not Future.
You can't
do
do
what I'm saying? You can't do it.
You can't, because the shit that makes them special is like, it's shit you can't replicate, because it's not just the bar, it's the whole aura. Like, it's the essence that you feel when you listen to Future's. Like, it's different. It's different. Like,
and Metro production on the album is crazy.
Hey man, I'm sad he ain't never gonna work with 21 again. That's over with, huh?
Ooh, the production is crazy. And now that Rick Ross feature too. Ooh, yeah, man. And we'll get another album in 2 weeks.
That's nuts.
Ooh,
that's nuts.
I don't know how they follow this up.
All I'm saying is, Drake, you don't need to be first. Let J. Cole go first. Okay.
Test the waters.
Hey, I promise you, Drake, nobody's waiting on you. Like, you know, we wait on J. Cole. Look, people are waiting on it, but not in a positive way. right? Like nobody's waiting on it other than Drake stans, who we have given a rough day today. I'm sorry, Drake stans, but Drake stans gonna be excited for it. But you know how Drake stans are. They gonna hype it up no matter if it's ass or not. It's gonna be like 12 a.m. in Memphis or some shit like that. And it could be good, it could be trash. They gonna hype it up. But you know what you waiting on, Cole.
Yeah, Cole got to take a shot.
Yeah,
Cole got to take a shot, especially because he wasn't even really responding to you. Like he basically ignored Cole and went directly at Drake.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you 100%. But it makes it tricky though, because if Cole respond first, it make Drake look scary.
Well,
so he kind of has to respond. Like Drake kind of has to respond first.
Drake, we know you again, man. Why Drake got to be something he not, man? Like, why we do you think that Drake really want to go first?
He probably won't.
This ain't me. This ain't 2016.
He got to respond to him at some. He got to like a direct response at some point.
Drake gonna be in the background of the J. Cole diss track talking about do something for me.
I hope they don't respond together.
I think J. Cole in his competitive spirit will refuse to let that happen. But is 21 Savage gonna be featured on Drake's diss track? Yes. Okay. Okay.
I just want to make this point. If you know what the beef is allegedly about, it's really stupid that people have to pick sides over this, dog. It's really stupid. Hey. It's really sad. The music's great though, so it is what it is.
You don't gotta pick sides. Remember, you don't know these people for real. They not gonna be mad at you for bumping somebody else's music while they actively beefing with another person because they don't know you exist. It don't matter. You ain't gotta pick that side, homie. Like
just enjoy the music. Enjoy the music.
Enjoy the competition. Where I'm not an Ohio State fan, I'm not a Michigan fan, but I enjoy watching them fight. Okay, like, I love the spirit of competition.
If you are not associated with either of these upstanding gentlemen,
hey, if they name it on your paycheck, you ain't got to do nothing about it, dog. You ain't got to pick one. You ain't got to pick one. Why?
Enjoy the music.
You know what I mean? You good.
We are civilians. We have nothing to do with this.
You ain't gotta be in somebody's mentions arguing about record numbers. By the way, you bring up somebody's record sales in a rap argument, I lose respect off it. Like honestly, whenever people start bringing up capitalism in an argument about art, I lose respect because I'm like, what you think this shit about? Like,
well, he went double platinum. Shut up.
You think I wake up every day, do all this Browns coverage simply because I want to go viral on the internet? No, I do this for art, for like some kind of artistic fulfillment of me trying to put some sports talk in the world that I enjoy. I don't do this to get records, to be like Mike Jack. Like, no, come on, stop it. Stop doing this. Okay.
Hey man.
Hey Greg, where we supposed to be at, man?
we need to finish these super chats and then we need to talk about the Cavs.
Yeah, exactly what Colb said. Finish super chats, then Cavs.
Yeah, we gotta talk about these Cavs, man. Talk about these Cavs. We got distracted with all this.
But to keep everything all over the place, Akalon says, "Don't know if you guys saw Jamison's message to Browns fans. When I watched it, I was laughing for absolutely no reason. He didn't even say anything funny."
Hey, you see him take that snap in that trench coat?
Man.
Hey, my QB.
My QB. That's my quarterback. I don't care.
Just like me. Okay.
Well, I hope not exactly. Not 100%. not 100%.
On the field, in the building.
Okay, just making sure.
We got Ray Rags 14. Lincoln Riley is worse than Ryan Day. At least Ryan Day changed the defensive coordinator after they sucked. Riley's defenses have been bad since Baker was there and have done nothing about it.
Fair point. 100% fair.
I wonder if he thinks having a shitty defense makes the offense better. Like, you know how Paul Pierce never lifted weights because he didn't want to fuck up his jumper? Like, is this kind of a similar thing?
Paul Pierce did say that, didn't he?
No, I think Jalen Rose was roasting him. He was like, Paul, you got the body of a man who don't lift weights because it fuck up your jumper. He was like, yeah, I do.
Hey, one thing about Paul Pierce, he's hilarious. I can't even lie.
hey, he is built like that. Like, I 100% believe that man was not lifting weights. He didn't need to.
Allen Iverson said the same thing. He's like, why are you lift weights? Because them shits was heavy.
We got another one from Ray Rex here. This is about Jerry Judy, I believe. If 750 plus yards in 3 games in 4 years and one he didn't even play 10 games is a bust, then what the fuck is Corey Coleman then?
Oh, man.
No, dog. What is Kevin White? What is John Ross?
Corey Coleman catching that straight.
I brought this point up and it broke people's brains because I was like, why are we acting like a wide receiver pick that pick 15 in the middle, late part of the first round is a bust because he averages about 800 yards a year? When we were like, oh man, Zay Flowers is going to be so good because he had 800 yards his rookie year. He was drafted in a similar position. Like, when did 800 yards become no work at all? If Elijah Moore got 800 yards last year, you know how hyped people would be. And here's the funny thing that I brought up before. There would have been less controversy if the Browns gave that same contract to Elijah Moore, despite it being an infinitely worse decision. That's how much perception plays into it. That's a bar. Okay.
Infinitely worse decision. Damn. What did Elijah do to you?
I mean, it would be a worse decision.
Like, damn, Elijah tried. He did his best.
His best isn't Jerry Judy's worse.
To be fair to Elijah, though, for half the season they did try to pretend like he was Deebo Samuels when he clearly was not.
Hey, man. Hey, I don't know what they were doing with Jerry in Denver. And he almost had a stack. Okay. That's like that 1 year you realize that like Odell had 1,000 yards in 2019 as a Cleveland Brown. You're like, damn, like, that's impressive. We wasted the talent.
Absolutely did. Absolutely did.
Woo.
We got Professor Chaos here. I'm just happy we brought Q's favorite player back, Cade York.
Can we talk about how people just look to make drama about anything and everything with the Browns? Like, literally, like they signed him to the practice squad. They tried to sign him back to the practice squad last year after they cut him. He went to the Titans, didn't kick there. Maybe because Mike Vrabel is a advisor now, or whatever his title is with the Browns. Maybe he decided to come back, but it's a good thing for him to just learn from Dustin Hopkins. Like, I just think in general, like, that's a good thing for him. He needs to learn from a kicker who is good at kicking, so he knows what he's doing. So I didn't see what the problem was.
You just need to watch somebody, because like I highly doubt Dustin Hopkins gonna be out here teaching them the tips and tricks. Like, hey, that man been in the kicking competition the last 2 years. He ain't about to be like, yeah, young buck.
I don't think it's a competition at all, though.
No, it's not. It's not. But Dustin's not going to allow it to be one. Okay. Like, but
he probably feels like, yeah, I can help you out because I know I'm the kicker.
Nah, that's still a 4th round pick that this team spun on that dude. Like, hey, that man made a 65-yard field goal. They're gonna start remembering that he started looking good in the preseason and shit. Hey, don't let see. And you cost $3 million and he cost $300,000. Yeah, nah, don't do that. don't train your scab. All right, like,
don't train your scabs.
Hey, it's still the league, dog. Get your money this year and then go ahead. But you know what it is. It's the reason Joe Flacco wasn't actually trying to come back here. By the way, can we talk about how dirty that was when Joe Flacco was out here? Joe Flacco's agent was out here doing, because nobody's willing to call it out, but I guess I'll be the one to call it out. Hey, man, stop putting all that bullshit out there. You know you wasn't trying to come back. You know you wasn't. Oh, yeah, I tried. I really wanted to go back. Nah, he just want that love that he got in Cleveland and stay there. It was all PR. He didn't want to come back. He wasn't actually trying to come back. Sit the bench.
Real quick, since it's Flacco related. All you motherfuckers who paid for an autograph, Joe Flacco. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, the crazy thing about it was somebody was like, look at this altruistic thing that he's doing. And then somebody pointed out, you know, he charging like $130 for these fucking autographs, right? And then my man's response was, well, the other guys are doing it. And I'm like, well, you didn't make a post about how great of guys they were for sitting there charging people for this. Maybe they just getting bagged, man. Maybe this is absolutely nothing. Like,
bro, y'all paid money to get an autograph.
Hold on, Cole. We got to ask this question to chat. Chat, did anybody in chat pay for that autograph?
Please.
It's okay. We're not going to jump you.
Oh, no. We're going to block
you. No. Don't listen to Cole. It's okay, chat. We're not going to jump you. We're not going to jump you. Come outside.
Well, chat's responding to that. The next super chat is actually about Joe Flacco. I think a huge thing that's not getting talked about is the Joe Flacco offense was so boom or bust. Dustin Hopkins never kicked more than 2 field goals in a game after Watson went down for the season.
It's a lot that happened with Joe Flacco that we don't talk about.
It was literally touchdown or pick. And don't get me wrong, when you winning, that's fun. But when you not, it's awful. Oh man, it's I need more consistency from my starting quarterback. I really do. It was fun though. It was fun for a while.
It was just a cool thing.
That's all it was, man.
It was just a cool thing. That's all it was. It was just cool.
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of no's about the autograph.
Nobody did it. Nobody's willing to admit it. I know one of you guys did it. It's just funny to me when people will like try to paint as the most altruistic activity of all time when they like you. Like, Colb, I say this all the time. Hey man, they will tell you your shit smell clean if they like you and you a quarterback, boy. But remember I told you this. When we were watching it, when we were talking about the game broadcast, I'm like, you can always tell if the play-by-play man, if the color man likes the quarterback, because if he likes him, you don't ever see that yellow get on the screen and that all 22 crack out. But once you see that all 22 crack out,
can't stand him.
Can't stand that man. Hey, Mark Sanchez, when DTR was in it, was telling us everything that man wasn't seeing, but he was just letting it fly with Joe Flacco.
Because he was playing back when Joe was playing. He was like, no, this is my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, don't underestimate the power of a college rivalry. That man still went to USC and DTR went to UCLA. He wasn't about to let that shit get off for free. Okay?
Oh, man.
He wasn't about to let it happen. He ain't Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit real professional about that kind of situation. Hey,
I appreciate that. I appreciate it with Kirk. Kirk loves everybody.
Mark Sanchez said, hey, USC ain't never let UCLA win while I was there. I don't know why I start letting that happen now. Okay? He was like, that was off time. That was on the wrong foot. I'm like, damn. Remember, DTR made a good throw and he called that shit a trick shot?
Yeah, I was like, damn, bro. What he got to do, man?
Hey, you can always tell when that color man hating, they start scribbling shit on that all 22. It don't even make sense. One time the play was stick and this man drew 9-8-9. I'm like, ain't even the right formation.
I'm like, man,
ain't no way you saw that
on him, bro. This coach is not even as hard on him, dog.
That wasn't no seam shot. What are you talking about? That was an over route he was throwing. That was in the right place. No. Hey, when Deshaun be out there too, cracking open that all 22. And you notice all them Joe Flacco starts, you see a sip of that all 22 on the broadcast.
Not once.
I was like, I thought that they did that for every game because every damn quarterback the Browns threw out there got the all 22 treatment except for Jeff Driscoll and Joe Flacco.
What you trying to say, Q?
Hey, man, it's tough out here being an ACC quarterback, man. It's that media bias that you deal with in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
I ain't gonna lie. This next super chat, this next super chat might take us down a crazy avenue. Greg, go ahead.
The Professor Chaos one.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Sidetrack. What's your opinion on the FBI Diddy raid?
Hey, all of us say is to quote the great Curtis Jackson. He did that shit. Guilty as fuck. Whatever they say he did, he did.
And I saw his kids in handcuffs, but he wasn't. I was like, it's straight out of a Netflix show.
All I'm gonna tell y'all is when the feds come get you, just know they have a 97% conviction.
Hey, when the feds seize your properties,
freeze your assets,
it's over.
Done.
It's done. You lost. You saw that video of Diddy pacing?
I'll be pacing too.
I was like, yeah, I did that same pace when I had $0 in my bank account after buying bread at Mark's. Like, that is the I'm fucked pace.
Good.
Hey, that is the shit just got real.
Woo! Fans rated every single home you got. All across the country. It's over. It's over.
Feeling like Franklin at the end of Snowfall. What happened to the money? Give me the money. The walls just closed in on you. Woo. Hey, Dame's gonna play a hell of a P. Diddy in the auto booth. In the biopic we go and see a team.
Right. We talk about biopics. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, it'd be tacky to do it now, but 10 years, yeah,
10 years,
yeah.
10 years.
And you know, Dameson gonna be the one they're gonna have do it.
Of course.
Oh 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, 1,000. That's the right casting. He gonna be the right age too. Oh yes. Ooh. I hope they make it a Netflix 5-part series. Like get everything a budget and some time, right? Don't try to fit all his life in 2 hours. I wanna see it. You know, like.
Hey, one thing I found out. They rated all his homes, everything, on the 27th anniversary of Biggie dropping Life After Death.
Wow.
It might have just been a coincidence, but that was a little eerie when I found it. It was like, woo. Oh man.
Well,
crazy how the world works, man. It's crazy how the world works.
I did not ever think I like look at that situation. I'm like, never thought that would happen. like, you know, sometimes life don't surprise you. This, yes, genuinely shocking. This turn of events.
I was just sitting there like, damn.
It happened so fast. You know, at the beginning of the football season last year, I went to the Jackson State, South Carolina State HBCU kickoff game, and P. Diddy was there giving away a bunch of money to a college. And I was talking to my girl like, damn, we saw right before it all came down. It's nuts.
Watching the fall in real time is crazy, bro. Like, damn.
I'll be like, did he know? Like,
you do be saying that, like all the people when you see all those photos of all these people hanging out with Diddy, like, did he know? You know what's going down? Was he at the freak offs?
Hey, insane.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of real victims to that situation too. I don't want to make too much light of it, but
yeah, we can't make too many jokes, even though Twitter was making a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be funny when the trial happens.
Oh yeah, when the details come out, it's not gonna be funny.
It's gonna be horrifying. So
yeah.
You know, get your jokes in now. But just some serious crimes being alleged with Diddy.
We got another from Ray Rags. Drake and Kendrick haven't liked each other since Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick has waited for Drake to say something and finally said, F it. I'll say, I hate you, Drake, and F you too, Cole, for putting him on my level.
Yeah, he took that big three stuff extremely personally. Extremely personally.
You know what it is? It was one of them, I ain't never liked your ass moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took absolutely nothing for him to do that. He been waiting to get that off.
A lot of artists have that moment with Drake. It would seem. A lot of artists have that I never liked your ass moment with Drake.
I'm gonna make a point here, and I hope I don't make Drake fans too mad. Kind of like Russ.
Kind of like Russ.
He kind of fake. Don't really trust him.
Listen,
hey, none of his collaborators that he made great art with fuck with him anymore. What the fuck is that? Like, hey, might be something there.
Listen.
No, so anybody that encourages their audience to respond to artistic critiques with record sales, probably kind of annoying in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably always pointlessly flexing shit. Also, let's be real. Come on. Drake don't seem like the most secure man in the world.
I would agree.
Never really been his thing. Okay.
He's very open about it. Very open about it.
Yeah.
To be fair.
It's one thing to be open. That's cool. It's another thing to be open about it for like 20 years and not grow. Like,
I still enjoy Drake's music, so you know.
I enjoy it too. I enjoy it too. But I'm just like, wow, he's still okay. like
you about to start sounding like Joe Budden in a second, dog.
Was he not right? He was right about what he said about J. Cole when he said it. He was right. He's right about Drake on this one. I don't know how much else Joe Budden's right on. I don't really listen to him that much, but I've seen those two takes, and yeah, he's right. Like, I agree. Like,
hey, Drake smoked him in that song though.
Hey, he came back.
Story about my brother, man.
Yeah, he definitely did. Don't change the fact that Joe was right. Okay, like,
he says you're not Kobe Bryant to us. I was like, woo.
Look, it ain't hard to smoke Joe Budden, especially when we talk about the merits of his rap career. You know, he was a great artist, but he didn't really sell raps. But again, you know, you always go back to the bag comp. And I just feel like somebody who consistently does that, probably not somebody you go like kicking it around. Like, especially if you were a certain type of person. Now think about Kendrick. I don't ever see this man flexing cars. Okay, like he don't seem super materialistic, at least on the outside.
He be riding his bike to places, notice like crazy stuff.
Yeah, he just be chilling, doing stuff. That's not a man that's going like Drake. I'm shocked that J. Cole and him get along as well as they do.
I also wonder how much of this is just business.
Oh yeah, J. Cole is kind of a businessman too. But yeah. I feel like it takes a lot to bother J. Cole.
Like, I'm not saying that there aren't artists who don't genuinely like. I'm sure there's people who genuinely like Drake and being around Drake, but you also got to be like, how much of this is just business? Like,
there are people who are like Drake. Like, you know, there's a lot of rappers that act like Drake, like him, don't find him. But I imagine like rappers his age. You ever been around somebody who still act like they're in college?
Yes.
It gets old.
We don't hang out anymore.
Yeah. Like, maybe if we got 14 other people, I'll get you here. You know, small burst, but like, he's still trying to go to the hookah bar. Nigga, like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. What we about to do is 1 o'clock. I'm going to bed, dog. What you talking about?
I should have been in bed 3 hours ago. What are you talking
about? I can't watch the movie we was planning on watching because you want to be at the hookah bar listening to music. You got good food here.
You don't even got to go to the hookah bar to get a hookah anymore. Like, what are you doing,
like, bro? What are you doing? Like, we got jobs. Buy a hookah.
Get a good one for like $80. Like,
Ain't gonna be no either. All right, man. All right, bro. Go ahead.
Let's get to the next super chat, man.
All right, we
Go ahead and
got
get thrown out of Barley House at 35.
got another one from Ray Rags. There's a famous Sports Nation story that Marcellus Wiley said Drake or Kendrick dissed the other on the show, and their team told them not to air it.
Probably for the best.
Hey, man, I just don't think Kendrick ever liked Drake.
It's so weird because like Drake had him on tour. Kendrick had that one song on Take Care, the Buried Alive, like that Buried Alive freestyle.
Yeah,
Or Buried
Kendrick's
Alive
like
interlude.
first mainstream hit was in that ASAP Rocky song, Fucking Problems, with Drake in it. Like that was the first one that everybody knew who Kendrick was. I still remember that verse. That was a good verse. Remember when Kendrick was still rapping like that? That's crazy. Like,
we haven't heard him rap like that until last week.
when's the last time you heard Kendrick try to make a chorus? Like, be catchy. Like,
No, that's what he called Future for. He's like, why I gotta do that with
after
Future right now?
damn, he was like, no more catchy shit.
And you know what? I respect what Kendrick did on that verse because he ruined that Mask Off remix. That Mask Off remix is that verse was terrible that Kendrick put on there. Terrible. I held that against him for years. I finally let it go when I heard that verse. When I heard that verse last week, I was like, okay, all's forgiven.
Mhm.
This is what you're supposed to do. Man.
We got a slight detour from the music here from Ray Rags. TD 3 out or pick the Joe Flacco special.
Literally what it was.
Hey, throw that Amari Cooper 40 bomb in there too.
Yeah.
Fuck it, Amari there somewhere.
You know what? He had a little bit of a run with Njoku too. To be fair to Joe, he had a little bit of a run with Njoku.
And Njoku had a run with him.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
because you know what Joe was doing? Save me, David. I got you. Like, there are like 5 David Njoku plays that are just straight up saving Joe Flacco's life. Like, legitimately 5 of them. Where it's like, hey man, David didn't have to do this. like Joe dropped ass on the first verse, but David saved the song. Okay. And then he started singing the chorus. Okay. He definitely sway lead. Joe like, he definitely sway lead Joe Flacco for a little bit.
Man. Whew.
We got Professor Chaos. Did Mo Hurst reveal the Browns in Brazil?
So my understanding is that it's down to the Browns and I think one more team.
Green Bay.
To go to Green Bay. I feel like low key he might have like spoiled it when he wasn't supposed to.
What do you say?
Low key, because he basically talked. I think he basically alluded to like he never been in Brazil or something like that, And I think people were kind of like, oh, so we're playing the game in Brazil. And I think he was like, no, man, I'm just saying. I was like, I'm just saying, like, it would be cool to go to Brazil and all the other stuff. So like, we'll see. I think they're gonna get the game.
Hey man, I'll just say this. If Mo Hurst has that information, that would have been out as a report. Like Mo Hurst's security clearance isn't so high that like, okay, Mo Hurst knows something we don't. Like, if Mo Hurst know, Mary Kay would know. Like,
I just watched the clip of what he's referring to here. It was Nathan Zagura interviewing him for the Cleveland Browns Daily, and he was asking him, if you go on a cruise anywhere, where would you go? And he said, like, as Mo Hurst was thinking about his answer, he was like, well, we're going to Brazil this year. And that's a clip.
Well,
wait, that happened on Cleveland Browns Daily, and it's still up?
Yeah, well, Nick Carnes posted just the clip of it, and I'm seeing it in a Sports Illustrated article titled Maurice Hurts suggests Browns will open 2024 season in Brazil.
I don't think he know. Like, I just think he assuming, or like, we also got to remember the dudes on the team don't be paying attention to shit like this like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have just heard around, yeah, you know, we might go to Brazil. But you know how it is. Might go to Brazil sound like we going to Brazil. So you're like, oh yeah, we doing that Brazil thing. Like, high possibility of that being the case. It's like, I don't think the Browns know yet.
Low key, if we do get the game in Brazil, I want to go.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
You good on that? You good on that?
Nah, my Portuguese is not good enough. Oh yeah. By the way, shout out to me. Didn't make the big mistake there. Okay.
Oh man. Next super chat.
We got Ray Rags. This is about the P. Diddy situation.
Yeah, Homeland Security is crazy. Was he making bombs? But that ain't that part of the accusation?
Hey man, if Homeland apparently they caught his quote unquote drug mule, who used to be a Syracuse basketball player back in the day. He was a walk-on at Syracuse for the men's college basketball team. I don't even know how they got together.
You had me worried that it was Deion Waiters. I'm like, damn.
Nah. It's a white dude. It's a white dude. Yeah, man. Homeland Security. Homeland Security coming for you. It's over, dog.
Homeland Security?
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security?
Over with.
That's crazy.
Never stood a chance.
That's nuts. Homeland Security?
Yeah, whatever he did, bro. Whatever they say he did, I'm pretty sure he did that shit, bro.
Hey, bro. Take the plea.
I don't even know if
they gonna offer you it. But if they coming at you, dog, they ready to put this out. Hey, this is bad. This ain't no like, oh, you rich, you gonna get out of this. No, it's over. No.
You gonna have to sit down, buddy. You gonna have to sit down.
You don't survive these kind of raids and walk unless you running for president, big dog. It's over. It's a wrap, dog. It is done for Diddy. Yeah. Wonder what's gonna happen to Revolt. A lot of good people work there. I hear.
We got, I don't know if this is even that relevant, but Cordero Patterson is going to the Steelers.
Cool.
Ian Rappaport just broke that.
I wonder if he's still faster than Najee.
Probably.
Who do you think winning that race between Najee Harris and Russell Wilson?
I don't remember who said this, but somebody said Najee runs like he's wearing wet sweatpants.
Yeah, they say he run like he got jeans on.
Mm-hmm. I go Russ. I go Russ in that race.
Russ gonna win that race?
I go Russ in that race.
I'll vote for Najee. He long. You know what I mean?
Long Friday?
Russ got them little pats. You know? So I don't think he's gonna make it. Depending on how long the run is, too. Somebody get the sundial out so we can time this.
Sundial's crazy.
Hey, somebody call Austin Eckler. We trying to break a Guinness World Record.
All right.
We
Rex
got
Fortune.
Rex Fortune. I don't know any of these names. I'm guessing this is wrestling. Q, who are you looking forward to more? Ospreay versus Bryan, Okada versus Takashita, or Swerve beating Samoa Joe. Also, Kolb would love Minoru Suzuki, a.k.a. Murder Grandpa.
Yeah, we need to get Kolb.
Murder Grandpa? I'm locked in. Who is this?
Oh, yeah.
Who
we
is
need to get
this?
Kolb locked in. He's an old Asian dude who just be beating the fuck out of people in the wrestling ring. He crazy. Yeah.
Google
search Minoru Suzuki right now and tell me that that does not fit the image that you had in your head when you heard the Murder Grandpa.
Japanese professional wrestler and former mixed martial artist. He's 55. Yo.
He is few.
and his name's Murder Grandpa.
Oh yeah.
Is this AEW?
Yeah. I think his match with Bryan Danielson's available on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I have to lock in. I have to lock in on that one.
Let me tell you something. If you like anime, you will probably like a lot of the Japanese stuff in pro wrestling. You would probably fuck with AEW a little bit. Maybe even like WWE. But
no, WWE recently been.
Yeah, it's been fire. It's been fire. I
Rock
don't have enough
back.
time to be watching like two different promotions, but I try to get in because the Rock's back.
Rock's
cool.
back, man.
Yeah.
Rock's back.
Like the way I describe it is WWE is kind of like soap opera and AEW is anime. Whereas like the stories are more simple in AEW and a little bit less dramatic, and it's really about the scrapping. You know, like it's really about the boxing at the end of the day with AEW. With WWE, it's more about the story, the kind of thing that go around it. Both are really good at this point. Like I used to watch wrestling in 2010. It was ass. Okay. So I am glad that we live in this one. And you forgot the one that I'm actually looking forward to, Rex. It's gonna be Pac versus Okada, right? It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be crazy. Ooh, Ospreay versus Pac. Hey, I'm gonna have to get you up to this Ospreay too. You gonna fuck with him. You gonna like him. Okay. Yeah. That white boy cool. Okay.
That white boy cool.
I didn't know about him till a month ago. Then I saw that man in person. I was like, oh no, that's the dude. Like, nah, that's the guy.
Man. Yeah. WrestleMania is in Cleveland, right?
WrestleMania is not in Cleveland. SummerSlam is in Cleveland.
SummerSlam is in Cleveland. I'm going to that.
Hey, I see you there.
Oh man.
We got Soul Train
squad together. Drake reminds me of older bands singing teen angst.
That's actually a great description. Because he's what, 36, 37 now?
Yeah.
It's still.
He too old to be performing Marvin Room. Like, there's some songs I hope he don't put in this set no more. Like, yeah, it was popular, but you know what? We do not need to hear that one no more from you, Drake. What's another one? Find Your Love? Yeah, don't need to do that one.
I mean, he literally on More Life had that song Teenage Fever.
Yeah, retire that one. It's a good sample in it too.
More Life got some great songs on there.
It do. Man. It do. You look great production. I look at Drake as a band, not a rapper. Right? Because
some people look at him as a pop star. Like I don't look at him like that. But
I don't look at him as a pop star. I think of him as like a really popular collective. Like, so there's a lot of producers. We know that he has ghostwriters. It's not like a big deal anymore. You know, it's about like Drake's the front man of the band. And that's a good spot to be in. Like, he's a really good artist and good collaborator. It's just, you know, I just like when you look at J. Cole. J. Cole did that whole what album is it that he did no features, all the beats he made? Yeah, Kevin's Heart on that. It was
that was my least favorite Cole album.
Really?
Least favorite Cole album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It was a personal album.
That don't make it good.
You really that one?
I didn't like that one that much. Like 2014 Forest Hills Drive, that one's great. And my favorite Cole album, not mixtape, but album is Born Center. 100%.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I can see 100%. That. I can see that.
He was locked in on that one.
We got another super chat here, Ray Rags. I will also like to point out a while back. Back to back was hard and destroyed Meekville. The only reason Drake did back to back is he had to because the first disc was bad.
Yeah, we don't
Charged Up was not. Yeah, Charged Up was not good.
I
Charged
knew
Up
it
was
was
not
gonna
good.
be ass when the album cover was a picture of a battery emoji.
Yeah, that one was not good. Back to
But
back though.
then, but
Crazy.
here's the thing: back to back was good. But you know what made back to back hit even harder? Meek Mill was on some fucking bullshit in his diss track. Played the Undertaker's theme for like 5 minutes. Like, what was this? What was
Yeah,
this? This not what they came to see, Meek. Like,
to be real though, Duppy freestyle was hard too.
mm-hmm.
Duppy freestyle was actually really, really good. It was really
Meek
good.
was lost.
But
I think Meek wanted his run to end. Like, he wanted to be done. You know, he was tired because nothing. Like he is too good of a lyricist, and too good of a battle rapper to just let himself go out like that. And that tells me that he was done, right? Like he was ready to fold in the third, like, because I can't believe that was his best shot.
Nah, that was awful.
That was awful. That was awful. By the way, every time you hear that's gonna be the diss song of the generation. New Ether. Oh, that's tough. The thing that's disrespectful is that the beat was that good too. Like, that's usually a Drake move, right? To drop the best beat he could find on a diss track. Damn.
Man.
Damn. And then he outflanked you with that Prince line. Like, you can't even talk about money no more. He killed that. Like, he took your best weapon.
Ooh, let's get through these next three so we can talk about the CAVS, man. We gotta talk about these CAVS.
Yeah,
hey, man.
Professor Chaos, Kolb. We are 2 weeks away from Konosuba season 3.
Konosuba is back. I can't wait. It's my favorite anime to watch when I need something to laugh at. 100% my favorite anime to watch when I need something to laugh at. Can't wait. Professor Chaos knows what's up. I know, Q. I know you don't know what's going on. I know.
Tell the audience more about Konosuba because I got to use the restroom actually. So you know what? Go ahead, take over real quick. I'll be right back. I've been waiting for a break in action.
That's a crazy segue to have to use the bathroom.
I always love seeing the joy leave Q's eyes every time an anime question comes.
Every time you talk about anime, he act like it's the worst thing in the world. It's so funny. But no, Konosuba is one of those animes. I think it's classified as isekai, where dude dies a very, very hilarious death. Extremely hilarious death, and comes back into a new world. And the adventures are just hilarious. It's so difficult to describe, Greg, because it's like you really have to watch it to understand how hilarious it makes fun of the entire isekai genre. And it's the greatest thing in the world. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I Google imaged it, and it is not at all what I was expecting. It looks very like cartoony and like goofy, and
it doesn't take itself serious at all, and that's what makes it so great. Professor K, I say he's been rewatching it. I'm gonna rewatch it again before the new season comes out because I need to watch. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, the movie's hilarious too.
Hey, is Afro Samurai on somewhere streaming?
If it'd be anywhere, it's probably on. I don't think it's on Crunchyroll.
It would have to be on Paramount Plus, right? Because it came out on Spike.
I wonder if it was part of Funimation, because if it was part of Funimation, it would be on Crunchyroll now because they merged.
Well,
it is, according to Google, it's licensed by Crunchyroll right now.
Okay, there we go.
Tough. That's tough. Damn.
Go through.
Damn. I was almost about to watch it.
You're not gonna watch it? You're not gonna watch Afro Samurai now?
I ain't got Crunchyroll.
Oh.
Is it on Max? Because that was on Adult Swim, right?
If it was on Max, I might have considered it.
No, it wasn't on Max.
No, I think something else was on Max. But
it's like I think Samurai, or is it Ninja Kamui? Or something Ninja Kamui is on Max or something like that. But we got to move on. We got
two from Mike C. Rodriguez. Watchable think about Paul versus Tyson, and the next one was just him correcting his grammar.
Sorry,
what do you think about
Paul? Man, you got to apologize. You got to apologize for some grammar when you feed your kid, man. Fine.
I have made it through. How long has Jake Paul been relevant? The Paul brothers been relevant?
They started in Vine in like 2015.
I know. I went to college with people who went to high school with him, and they fucking hated him when he was in high school. And I've been avoiding the Paul brothers since then. So I don't really have much to think about it. Mike Tyson's kind of old to be fighting, but let's be real. That's just kind of like WWE that they doing. Like, they trying to get their little reality TV boxing thing on. Look, I got an idea, Cole. Do you watch reality TV?
I try not to.
Look, if I ran reality television, it is what it is. You're going to have them reunion shows. They're going to argue, whatever. But you know what I'm going to sell every year? A Battle of the Reality Stars pay-per-view, because apparently people be buying this shit. Okay? Put those gloves on and fight for real. Like, yeah, it didn't give us shit to talk about in a reality show. Meet me in the ring. Okay, cool. It's basically pro wrestling for like people who think pro wrestling is too fake to be a fan of. Like, they okay, go ahead and do that shit.
Like people gonna buy it because they think Mike Tyson's gonna beat Paul. I don't even know if it's Jake Paul or the other one. I don't know who it is, but he's not gonna win that fight.
Is it Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
I think it's Jake.
Either way, one thing I do know about the Paul brothers is that they're like 6'3", 6'5" of good length. And Mike Tyson has always been a peekaboo boxer, and that's not gonna go well for a 58-year-old man trying to peekaboo with no length advantage. Like, man, I think we're all hoping that Mike Tyson like get one on him, but come on. Or hey, if Logan Paul were smart, he would eat one and fall, and that would go viral.
Yeah, 100% would go viral.
Yes. Look, one of them Paul brothers be fucking wrestling. They know what's up. Okay.
I think Logan is the one who be in WWE. He's actually good at that.
Yeah, I hear Logan's good at that.
Jake is the one fighting Mike Tyson, who I think has a much better record for whatever you want to count that, since they're fighting like janitors.
Jake can box a little bit from what I've heard, but
I mean they've knocked out like washed up UFC fighters, and like that's not nothing.
Knocked out.
Hey, make y'all money, man. Make y'all money.
Hey, bro. Hey. I just hope that everybody's getting paid and financially compensated, especially the people working the ring crew and the backstage events and the media. I don't really care about Jake Paul, but he is bringing jobs. Okay, so
I think my favorite thing about the Paul brothers is when they were on Twitter talking about like, oh yeah, don't mess with us. We're from like the streets of Ohio, and they're from Westlake.
Yeah, they're from not the streets of Ohio. They're from the streets of privilege.
Neighbors with Kyrie Irving.
They are 100,000% not from the streets of Cleveland. Not even close. Their streets are made out of bricks. You ain't never seen a duplex, okay? Like, if you don't know what a Cleveland duplex is, I don't want to hear it, okay? If you ain't never had to ask what the side door code is, hey, bro, like, no. Like, if you're the type of person to see somebody duplex and knock on the front door, I know who I'm talking to, okay?
Ooh.
You imagine that? Just go ahead and knock on the front door. Are you crazy?
Hey, we got another one for Ray Rax. He just dropped it in.
Apparently Michi Johnson might come back to Ohio State. He might have hated Chris Holtman, and I was right there with him.
Chris Holtman was the biggest waste of time ever. at Ohio State, man. Like it's just a waste of time. Like you knew what it was every single season. They were going to underachieve. They weren't going to be serious. You weren't going to take them serious. It's about time they fired him. I don't know about who they replaced him with. You usually don't replace him with the interim coach. This usually doesn't work out too well. But hey, we gonna see.
Hey man, here's the great thing about being an Ohio State basketball coach. Spring football is in 2 weeks. They ain't gonna be mad at you that long. Okay. Honestly, they prefer if you're out the tournament by now. Okay. It's a distraction. Okay.
People are just like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah, okay.
Football. Time for football.
Look, man, honestly, if you coach at Ohio State, it behooves you not to do exceptional shit because then people gonna start paying attention. Nah, man, you want them to check out right about now. Okay, make a Sweet 16 run, lose. We got spring football. Did you see this 5-star Ohio State guy? Don't nobody give a fuck about you no more. Dad Mata knew what it was. Okay.
Ooh.
We got one more super chat, which is actually a perfect segue into our last topic. Cavs need to bench someone currently starting, in my opinion.
All right.
I got one random aside. Hey, bro, don't you think that like if you play basketball at Alabama, you kind of crazy?
To be real with you, bro, Nate Oates has had that program doing some pretty good things the last couple of years since he's been there, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
I forget. Yeah. What's like a LSU? See, it's changing. Like what Anthony Edwards went to Georgia. That's how I knew Anthony Edwards was a different breed.
Like the football schools are becoming more than just football schools recently. Like Brandon Miller with number 2 overall, he played at Alabama.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's good. Like really good. Really good.
Do you trust a basketball player from Clemson?
No.
I don't either. I don't know why.
It's only certain football schools you can play basketball out now trust you. You feel what I'm saying? Only certain ones.
Well, see, like some of them have it 2 ways. We're like Michigan State, is it a basketball school? Is it a football school? It depends on what time of the year and who's good.
Yeah.
Michigan, similar thing. They got a good coach on both sides. Ohio State, it's a football school.
Football school.
The basketball is not terrible, but it's a football school. Then you got like, I'm only in the Big Ten because I can hoop. Indiana, Maryland. Okay.
Illinois.
Illinois. I don't know who else is on that. Like, can Rutgers hoop? What does Rutgers bring? Okay. What did they bring?
You just wanted to take a shot at Rutgers. That's all you wanted to do.
What do they bring to the table, man? Shout out to the Scarlet Knights. Every time they talk about the Big Ten making cuts, I know they get nervous. Ooh, they know they the least valuable employee to this operation. Every time it's doing the Big Ten, they start sweating like, "Hey, make sure we even." Like,
oh man!
Ooh.
Mike said Northwestern. Good call. Good call.
Academics.
You know what I'm saying?
And basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
Is there anywhere else that in their Penn State? They a football school.
Football school.
I assume you are crazy if you play basketball at Penn State. Like,
well, now we got to add the new teams though, because UCLA,
hoop
UCLA,
school.
basketball school,
USC, football.
Both. Honestly, I'd say both. I think I might lean both a little bit. Mostly football, but I can see the basketball.
It's strong. It's much stronger football.
Yeah.
Like
Mike said, Purdue,
solid basketball school.
That's basketball school for sure.
Mm-hmm. Wisconsin, kind of occupies the same space in both areas. Hey, shout out to
underrated.
Iowa.
Underrated shot. Underrated shot.
Iowa. Yeah. As long as they got Caitlin Clark, they got something. Mm-hmm. Hey, did you see that game? The West Virginia one?
I watched a little bit of it in the gym.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they for real, dog. Like there is an intensity in these women's matchups that is not being matched on the men's side of this bracket.
I don't know. I would go so far as to say that women's college basketball is a much better product than men's college basketball.
Oh yeah, it'd be hype.
Much
like, this is crazy.
I be watching Kayla Clark like, oh no, that's a real hooper.
No, I remember the first game I watched her. I think it was it LSU? Yeah. And I was like, I hear she's good. And then she did one dribble, step back, smacked the three for no fucking reason. I was like, oh, I understand what is going on here. Like,
people would say that's the female Steph Curry. I was like, man, y'all lying. And I watched it. I was like, woo, y'all were not lying.
I am a Diana Taurasi fan. I was like, Diana never did that. Okay, like, oh, this difference.
She out here cooking.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. She only had 2 in the fourth quarter, and this one was it was no 4. She had 4. They were all free throws, but yeah. We all waiting for that LSU rematch.
Yeah, that LSU team is for real.
Mm-hmm.
LSU team is for real.
Hey, don't sleep on
Hey, no, you know who's cold though?
South Carolina.
No, Juju Walker's from USC. She's cold.
Mm-hmm. I hope the WNBA figures something out to make that interesting, right? Like because there's a lot of talent there, a lot of people invested. Like if they're gonna make that jump, this got to be it, right? Like you got to market
the new stars that's coming in.
This is like a test to see if people are going to get in their own way with money, because for years people have been not wanting to invest in the stars that the WNBA has had. If you're literally throwing money away if you choose not to invest, like if the WNBA chooses not to invest serious cash into making sure they can get these stars and promoting them like they're stars, because this is how leagues are made, right? This is how reputations are made, you know. This happened with the Lakers and the Celtics, right? Like you really need to do everything you can. Hey, if you gotta rig some shit, it's cool. Like, do what you gotta do.
Hey man, necessary evil. It is what it is.
Hey, I'm sure people will understand what had to be done, dog.
Sometimes it's for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? It's for the greater good. It's about the league.
You got to make sure, it's like when you bring up a wrestler, you like, all right, what worked in developmental? Like, don't put Caitlin Clark on the New York team. Nah. She needs to represent the Midwest. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hell, put a fucking team in Iowa. Okay. I promise you it'd be profitable. Do you see how many people be at them games?
Yeah, them games be sold out, bro.
Dog.
Sold out.
Dog.
Standing room only in there.
It's nuts. Nuts.
And it should be because she cold.
Yeah. She done captured the imagination of America. Don't be trying to pay her no $25K. Okay. Like, don't have her working side hustles. No, y'all gotta. This is the time to invest in the league. If the NBA is serious about then it's time to drop some buckets and drop some money into that. Like you need to infuse some money and get some serious people who really want to like try to make it happen owning them teams, because this is your shot. It's now or never. And
speaking of now or never,
every year they stay in college because they can make more money is not a ringing endorsement for your league. Okay, like.
Jeez.
Hey.
But speaking of now or never.
Oh, we finally gonna talk about the Cavs?
It's time to talk about these Cleveland Cavaliers.
Hey man, Soul Train tried to get us there too.
About women's college basketball. So let you know where the Cavs is at, right? Look, man. Soul Train said they need to bench somebody to start the lineup. I wonder who he's talking about. I hope he's not talking about Evan Mobley. Here's the thing, Q, that makes me upset. We always talk about the two big lineup with the Cavs. Two big lineup. We can't play two bigs at the same time. Spacing is not going to work.
Yeah, when did everybody get fascinated with that?
You know, I find it interesting because when Evan Mobley came back from his first injury in January, they were 9-1 with him in the starting lineup. Nobody said anything. Too big lineup. Nobody said anything about it.
It's one of those things that just became a talking point because, like, I don't know. People don't like
if you look at the numbers, hold on, man. I might actually have to pull it up because I know shout out Justin Rowan, aka Cavs Canada. Because he don't even be on Twitter anymore because y'all be pissing him off. He don't want to be arguing about the Cavs on his account because he might get in trouble. Oh man, let me look up these.
I understand, bro.
Like, because he be wanting to pop off on y'all, and I 100%.
My least favorite thing is when somebody come at you like with obvious antagonistic energy, and then you be like, "Now, why you being antagonistic about something stupid?" And they be like, "Oh no, you misinterpreted me. I'm like, come on, I was actually agreeing with you." And I'm like, "Bro, come on, man. Like, I ain't mad. Just let this moment happen. You getting dunked on right now. Don't make me feel bad about this." Okay, like,
don't make me feel bad.
Don't you dare try to gaslight me. Don't you dare try to gaslight me into thinking I fouled you. No, I did it. Nah, that lane was clean. Okay, you stood right there. Okay.
Oh, okay. He didn't tweet it. They tweeted it from their podcast, the Chase Down, their podcast account, the Chase Down podcast. Hold on, because they have the net rating numbers on here. So now I got to find it. Let's see.
By the way, this is a great time to remind people we got a TikTok now. We got Spotify. You know, Greg out there doing the Spotify every week and the TikTok stuff. Make sure you check out QnColb on TikTok and Spotify. And tell your friends, but like not your friends that snitch on you at work, but like your good friends. You know, you know who to tell this podcast to. You know what I mean?
Okay, so here's the numbers. So they call them the core four. So Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, two bigs.
Yes, sir.
Lineup data for the last two seasons. When they all play on the court at the same time together. Offensive rating, 118.9. Defensive rating, 110.5. So net rating, 8.3. When it's just Donovan Mitchell and the two bigs, offensive rating 114.5, defensive rating 105.5. So net ratings +9. When it's just DG and the two bigs, offensive rating 113, defensive rating 112.7. So only a 0.3 net rating.
Interesting.
Which leads me into the point. People are so hyper fixated on them playing Evan Mobley and Jared Allen at the same time, when that's not really the reason they've been losing games at all, to be honest with you. It's kind of, I feel weird talking about it, mostly because I feel like Darius has dealt with a lot injury-wise that people may not have been aware of. He also lost like 13 pounds because he had his jaw wire shut and he could only have like fluids.
Yeah, it's really much tougher than people give it credit for. And then also when you lose that much weight, it's going to throw off your shooting.
And he's gotten the shooting back. What it's really impacted is how he finishes at the rim.
Yes.
He can't do it right now. And when
it reminds you of like earlier in his career where he had issues finishing at the rim.
Yeah,
and it was lighter.
Randomly lose 13 pounds involuntarily.
Yes.
And you can't gain the weight back because you're in the middle of the season.
You hooping.
You see what I'm saying?
It's a lot of Chipotle.
Yeah, so it's difficult, but the reason that they've been struggling so much is because he's regressed. And they can't survive it without Donovan Mitchell on the court now. Like they can't score enough. They can't score enough unless Donovan Mitchell's out there. And obviously Max Strus not being out there is having an impact. Dean Wade, them not having Dean Wade is having an impact. Now, obviously not on a much smaller scale, but but they need Donovan Mitchell and they need Max Strus out there to be able to score enough. And Darius can't carry the load without them. So that's why they look the way they look. People trying to put all this on Mobley and saying that he hasn't been good enough and we don't know if we can give him the max. I just bro, have you been watching him play at all? I don't know what people want. He's been good when he's been on the court for the most part. So I don't really know what people want. I really don't.
Bill Simmons did a bad thing to Evan Mobley, man.
Brian Windhorst did too, to be completely honest.
They started going out there and calling this motherfucker Tim Duncan. And that was never a fair expectation for him. And we talk about this all the time. In sports, with great expectation comes great skepticism, right? The higher they hype you up, the harder they'll crash down on you if they don't feel like you living up to those expectations. And that's what's happening to Evan, right? People compared him, not people, Brian Windhorst and Bill Simmons compared him to Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan. Now, if we kept the comps to Chris Bosh, we would be at a different place with this. People forget Chris Bosh was a maximum player. But since the expectations aren't simply being a really, really good NBA player, which he's going to be, it's be generational. Every moment that Evan Mobley is not generational, people are critical of. He plays good, it's not good enough. He plays great, he should do that every game. It's always something, right? Because the bar is set too high. And then also when you said generational expectations on a player, we don't give them normal timelines to develop, right? We act as if every NBA player is who they're ever going to be 2 years into their career, 3 years into their career, when that's clearly not the case, right? Like
22.
Like think about Joel Embiid. Like Joel Embiid wasn't like Joel Embiid till year 7. He was becoming Joel Embiid, but there's a clear difference between early Joel Embiid with the baby fro and big ass Joel Embiid that exists now, right? Unstoppable Joel. That's not to say that Evan Mobley is going to become Joel Embiid, but he's very early in this process. And I think people are just being unfair. And then because everybody's used to being unfair, when there's a problem with the Cavs, where's the first place they look? They're always looking at Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm.
They're always looking for a reason to blame him. They're going to blame Evan Mobley. Doesn't help. How did they lose that playoff series? Getting beaten the inside, right? So people are always looking to blame them. Never mind the fact that only one of your backcourt players showed up in that series as well, right? Because Donovan Mitchell was nowhere to be found.
And he really only showed up for one game.
And Donovan Mitchell? What game did he show up for? Well, I say Darius Garland showed up for a game and a quarter. And that is 5 times more than Donovan Mitchell showed up. Okay.
We got a super chat about this from Ray Rags. Effet, I'll say what the problem is right now, other than missing Donovan, it's Darius Garland. You can't have only one 20-point game since D-Mitch has been hurt and only shoot above 45% once, and it was the last game 6-12.
Yeah, it's Darius, man. He's regressed. He's regressed from that season that they had when they first got Mobley when he was an all-star. You see what I'm saying? And he was frying people. And the issue after that season, we were talking about the Cavs, the issue was they didn't have enough around Darius offensively to get it done. because he was playing so well. They were trying, how are we going to build it around Darius? You see what I'm saying? He's regressed. And there's legitimate reasons for it. We talked about the injuries, but it is what it is. There's nothing there's nothing that they can do with it. Like he can't keep the team afloat in that same way. But there's one thing I wanted to talk about with Brian Windhorst and what he said about Evan Mobley when he got drafted, because he hated that they took Mobley. Like he talked about it, and then I think Justin was the one who sent me, or there might have been, no, it might not have been Justin, it might have been somebody else. But he was talking about how Mobley was a project and he's not going to be good for 4 years, and it's going to set the team back that they have him, and all of these different things. And then you realize that since Evan Mobley has been a Cleveland Cavalier, they have won more games every single season.
Oh, they're significant. They made the playoff. Well, they made the play-in at least every year he's been here, right?
He's been an all-NBA first-team defender in his second year in the league. He's averaging 16 and 10, 3 assists, and shooting career highs across the board. From the field, from the three-point line, from the free throw, from free throw. His per 36, and I always point this out. He's doing it in a career low in minutes. His per 36 numbers are the highest they've been since he's been in the league. He quite literally has gotten better every single season. And people are upset. It's like, oh, well, he's the pro. We don't know if we can give him the max. Like, we might have to get rid of him. You know, the Cavs. I'm like, listen, if you guys get rid of a player that has gotten better every year and give him to another team, you're probably going to regret it. Probably going to regret it. like, I honestly, truly hope the Cavs don't listen to the fans, because if they listen to the fans, they're going to get rid of a good young player. And another team's going to benefit, and then they're going to do what we used to do with the Browns all the time. You see a player who used to be here, now he played well on another team. You're like, oh, man, why couldn't he do that when he was like, oh, we just gave away another one. Maybe we should have. And then you're going to look stupid. So just calm down. Hopefully the team will get healthy and they'll be fine.
People actually talking about the Cavs need to trade Evan Mobley.
You know, Domo and everybody be like, they gotta pick 2 of the 4. You want Donovan and Evan, or Donovan and Jarrett, and then you gotta get rid of the other 2. Like, you gotta get rid of Darius, or you gotta get rid of Mobley, or you gotta get rid of Allen, and you gotta figure out which ones you're gonna keep. And I'm just like, bro, if they get rid of anybody, and I don't know why my light is doing that. That's crazy. If they get rid of anybody, if Donovan Mitchell decides to re-sign here, and I think he will, then I feel like it's okay for you to trade Darius at that point, because he's here. But I don't see them trying to get rid of either of their bigs right now, unless somebody offers something crazy for one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, then they might consider it. But outside of that, keep them both.
When did this whole you can't have 2 bigs that can't shoot thing become a rule in the NBA?
I don't know.
What? Did I miss something? I don't get that whole take. I get it for spacing and everything, but I mean, the problem that the Cavs have with their 2 bigs is that they're not 2 bigs. They're more they're thinner, they're smaller. They're not going to be super heavy. That's been the issue that you've had with them defensively, offensively, is that they can get pushed around a bit by heavier, more physical teams. But them being able to shoot don't fix that. Just takes them away from the rim. I don't know if you think that's this catch-all or something. And with Evan Mobley, as long as he's developing, you probably do want another big out there while he's out there, especially one that can pass big to big as well as he can. It's a threat out there. I don't get the whole anger over the 2 bigs thing. And it's I guess people took that energy that they had because we have the 2 small guard problem, and they were like, we need to create another one while Donovan's out there. Let's go 2 bigs that can't shoot. Yeah, that feels right. Right? That feels right. That's our next crusade. I don't know. I don't really think that's the big thing that matters. I think that there are clearly parts to this roster that need to be adjusted. Like they have some bigger problems overall that are going to limit them for now. We'll see what Darius does if he can get healthy and everything next year, or if they move on from him. But there's going to have to be some decisions made, like the small backcourt thing. That's a thing. It's a real thing, right?
Yes.
Like that they have to consider. Yeah, Evan and Jarrett being similar builds, but both being your front court players, especially when you don't have the longest wings. I mean, for a long time, you didn't have any wings. Okay.
Hey, but we should throw this out really quick. We should throw this out. Isaac Okoro has been significantly better this season.
Here's the thing with Isaac Okoro. Still a small wing.
Yeah. I think I've always said this. He's a great defender. He's much better guarding guards than he is guarding like real wings. You see what I'm saying? Like when you put him on guards, players that you know are guards. Yeah. Even they can. But
when like, you put him on Paul George, it starts to get exposed a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
but you put him on the Jason Tatums, the Paul Georges, LeBron.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's at a disadvantage physically. You see what I'm saying? They need a wing. Like they need a real wing on the team.
Long wing.
Yeah. They need a wing on the team. They've needed it for years. They do not.
I ain't never seen a team need prime Robert Covington more than the Cavs.
Legit though, like legit. That's what they need.
Like what do they need? Remember when Robert Covington was on the 76ers?
Like if they still like if Ron Artest was still in the league, that's who the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh my
that's
God.
what the Cleveland Cavs need.
Yes.
Everything Prime Ron Artest brought to the basketball court is exactly what the Cleveland Cavaliers need.
The whole Marcus Morris thing brings me joy and fills me with concern at the same time.
Why it filled you with concern?
He coming out here basically just telling us, man, they ain't got it. Like, they need to get it. Like, they have that. They don't have that, dog. Like he's coming out like we need to get way tougher. Like essentially.
Hold on, I'm looking at the chat. Hold on. Edwin Taylor said towels would be perfect for me.
Yeah, get a big that can shoot. Yeah, get a big that can shoot. Put him next to Evan Mobley. That fix it.
How you feel about that, Q?
Hey, if that happens, I'll watch Death Note. Just so I can know how to do it.
Hey, yo. Ooh, what's wrong with you, bro?
Give me the notebook.
No.
Because I'm coming for whoever wrote that comment. Put that in the universe.
Oh, man. You think they call the cast off now? Man. We had
hey, they're going to be getting boxed out. Carl Anthony Towns going to be humming and shit.
Man. Cat had 60 points. They had a net rating of 0, and they lost that game. I'll never forget that for as long as I live, bro. Because how does that happen? They lost to the Hornets, bro.
Is that the way he got benched? Because
they benched him at the end of the game because they was trying to win. How many wins the Hornets got? Hold on.
Hey, dog. Did that happen when like there were some historical performances? Joel was cooking.
Man, it was the same. It was the same night that Joel had 70. He had 60. I'm like, dang, cat going off, and then you look. No. How many was the Hornets won 17 games? Oh man, Brandon Miller was cooking.
They still got Kelly Oubre.
No, Kelly Oubre on the 76ers.
Damn.
Ooh.
That's rough.
Man, hey, Y'all think people complain about the bigs we got now? Imagine if Cat was on the team. Imagine if Cat was on the team.
You know what? Cat would make me madder because I can understand why Jared Allen is just going to get physically dominated because he's not that big. Cat too big, man. Cat is way too big to be moved around that easily. Like, off principle, that's going to piss me off. I'm like, how do you not stand your ground?
He would definitely solve, like, if people are really hung up about the spacing thing, he'd solve that. Man, you don't want Cat here, dog. Yeah. You do not want Cat here.
He'll solve that. But you know what else he's going to solve? Evan Mobley being on the all defensive team. That's it. That's over.
Oh, yeah. Cat here? No. Absolutely not.
That man can't do two jobs.
Man, that's just and
I just don't want him around Evan Mobley. I'm sorry. I don't need him acting like Cat.
What's wrong with Cat? What you mean? You can't act like Cat. What's wrong with Cat?
I'm talking about taking all them damn threes.
Ooh, watch how fast having a big who can shoot becomes a problem. Watch how fast people start complaining about it.
We don't get any rebounds. How do we start 2 7-footers and we get no rebounds? Our transition defense is bad. Like,
you already know it's coming too.
What the fuck you think was gonna happen? Like, hey man, people get dead set on like these basic solutions just because it I guess do it even sound good?
No.
Like, when you got 2 small guards, like I don't know, man. I don't think that's gonna solve the problem, dog. Like, you know, getting more dudes on the perimeter, that don't really like make me think that you about to fix the issue.
They need a wing that is good. This is just what it's gonna be until they get one.
Well, they need the one piece, is what you're telling me. Hey, all you need is a good 3. Good luck finding that.
You gotta give something up to get it. It might be Darius.
Who is even giving it up?
That's also a great question.
Who got a great wing to spare? Man, would you like to give us Brandon Ingram? Please help me out. It's all I need. Yeah, I know if you do this is all you'll need, but like, please do it for me. We got a better shot getting LeBron back here, dog. Like,
LeBron solved the issue.
Yeah, even at 40. Okay,
he would absolutely solve the issue. Man.
Imagine LeBron and Donovan Mitchell interacting. Like,
man.
Imagine Donovan Mitchell being like, "Bro, I want you to stand here."
Ooh, maybe he get the leash that Kyrie had. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I used to let Kyrie just be Kyrie.
But I feel like that's because Kyrie is Kyrie.
That's also true.
You're not gonna control that, right? Like,
also, all you people who said that Donovan Mitchell is already the second greatest Cavalier, please shut up. Please shut up.
Hey man, we really forget how good Kyrie was.
Have some pride, please.
Really
as a Laker fan, it kind of disgusted me to see y'all saying that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
you're just throwing somebody above your legends. Like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Brown won a whole chip with the Lakers. He's probably at best 5th best Laker ever, and that's all he'll ever be to me.
That's kind of high. I didn't think you would have him that high.
I've had some.
If we're just ranking him as a Laker,
he'll never crack the top 4. He'll never crack the top 4.
I mean, like, he's LeBron, so I guess you feel obligated to put him in the 5. But like, if we're just talking about what he's done as a Laker, like, it's been impressive, but it's not been like.
That's the debate I've had. I was like, at best, best, you can put him 5th, and even then, it's kind of like it's
Who you
Bron,
gonna
so
put him
I get
over?
it.
Like, because it's obviously it's Magic, it's Kobe, it's
Kareem and
Shaq,
Shaq. Kareem and Shaq.
Kareem.
That was the top 4.
He
That was
don't
the top
belong
4.
in that 5.
That's
Like,
what I'm
not
saying.
Lakers.
That's what I was like. You can't put him in the top 4 ever.
Like, maybe you can debate James Worthy.
Like whoever you would put at 5th, I'd say okay, maybe it's debatable just because it's Bron. But even then, it's like,
but it's not Bron that we talk. It's Bron just in LA. Like,
I mean, he won. You know what I'm saying? He won. So it's like, okay, he got one. So he won. So we can
so you
entertain
can put him
it.
over like Jerry West.
Even then, well, I'm like, man,
but even then, like Jerry West, like it's hard to put LeBron over people who had Hall of Fame careers entirely based off their work as Lakers. When
you see what I'm
he's
saying?
a Cavalier, like I just don't think he qualifies for the conversation.
I mean, they gonna retire his jersey and everything because that's just what the Lakers do. But
he's
having a real discussion. It's like
culturally, he's never going to be a Cavalier. I mean, he's never going to be a Laker.
Oh, absolutely not. He's a
Cavalier. So I don't think he belongs. Like, I think that conversation is exclusive to people who are a Laker when they
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't just throw Carmelo in there because he played once for the Lakers.
No,
like,
we not doing that.
It's like, okay, what has he done as a Laker? Like he has to feel like a Laker, like Shaq played in Orlando, feels like a Laker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember all them other side, but you think of Shaq, you close your eyes, you think of that purple and gold. You close your eyes and you think of LeBron in that navy blue Cavaliers jersey that went triple platinum in 07. Okay. With a headband on and the swingman shorts. Okay.
So stop trying to put Donovan Mitchell as the second greatest Cavalier or trying to rank him over Kyrie.
Is Donovan Mitchell even at the point where he's a Cavalier?
No, bro.
That second contract first.
I'm like people. Oh yeah, he's already. I'm like, no, he's not. Shut up.
Kyrie is one of the most important Cavaliers in his team's history. Like
he's the second. He's either the second or third greatest Cavalier, depending on how you feel about Mark Price.
Oh, he's definitely over Mike Price.
But okay, then he hit the greatest shot in NBA history in the finals.
Underrated 2015 playoff run.
Yeah, until he got hurt.
Yeah,
until he got hurt. Very underrated.
Hey, you could have won if that knee would have just held it together.
Just look at his stats in that first game when he got hurt.
Yeah.
And
at that point, that knee was hanging on by glue. Okay, Elmer's glue. Like we all knew that bitch was coming up.
Hey, we gotta hit this. We gotta hit this.
Does Kevin Love? Is he a top 10 Cavalier?
Yeah. Yeah, he
is that because there's not really like 10 Hall of Fame Cavaliers? And also, serious question: do you think of Kevin Love as a Cavalier because he played here the longest?
Yeah, I think of him as a Cav.
But I always think of him as a Timberwolf.
I don't. I stopped thinking of him as a Timberwolf when they won.
Well, here I think the Kevin Love that played in Minnesota is almost a different person than the Kevin Love that played in Cleveland.
Yeah,
entirely different players.
Yeah.
It's just so hard because we spent so much time complaining about Kevin Love that like I'll never put him in the right perspective.
I mean, he made a whole bunch of All-Star teams, and
he was probably better than I remember him. It's just
he got his moment. He had his moment in the chip. He had his moment.
Oh, to stop.
You know what I'm saying?
In the game, he had like 9 points in. No, he even had 9. He had like 2.
It don't matter.
It's just I always remember feeling like we could have got more out of Kevin Love. Like I always wanted him to be the Chris Bosh of this team, and I'm like, man, Chris Bosh was way more impactful for the Heat than he was. And that's probably a really unfair comp for him. Like,
I mean, Chris Bosh was way better defender.
Dude, Chris Bosh was so good, man. I feel like so many people forget about that. Chris Bosh
Toronto
was so
Chris Bosh
fucking annoying on the Heat.
Toronto Chris Bosh was different.
Hey man, I remember Chris Bosh used to just come out there with them long, skinny ass arms, just block something out of nowhere. You're like, God damn it, Chris Bosh, make that little stupid jumper. like, right on the fucking elbow. Like,
Man, he was a hooper. He was a hooper.
yeah, man, them blood clots. That's
Man.
tragic.
Robbed us or something, right?
Man,
He still made the Hall of Fame.
It's unfortunate that people ain't gonna understand what that was. Like,
it's a lot of players like that, though.
yeah, like
People
Chris
not gonna
Bosh is
understand.
firmly in that generation of player that people forgot because, like, oh, he was the third guy on the heap. I'm like, he was such a good third guy. Honestly, LeBron has never had a third guy more impactful than Chris Bosh ever was. Nobody even came close. Like, if Kevin Love could have been as impactful as Chris Bosh, Bron would have had 3.
Yeah.
Like, Bron would have had 3 in Cleveland that second round. And that's not on Kevin. Like, Kevin's just not Chris Bosh, but like, man, there's an alternate universe out there where Chris Bosh gets to leave the Heat and comes on a reunion run with the Cavs in 2019. like with Dwayne Wade.
Ooh. Hey, we gotta do this. We gotta get to these super chats real quick because there's 2 more. Ray Rags. I want to know how did people expect Evan Mobley to make an offensive jump when he at best will be the third option that needs to get set up to get lit and sometimes fourth with 2 ball dominant scores? Thank you,
Colb. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think moving off of, let's say, Darius Garland, you get back Donovan Mitchell, you move off Darius Garland? Do you think just the volume of shots now being available for Evan Mobley will be something that in the long run, or even just like in the next season, would benefit the team more than having Darius Garland?
It's kind of weird because everybody complains about Darius as like how he's scoring the ball right now. But I've always felt like what made him the most impactful is how he sets other guys up, his facilitating, his passing. You will miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an element that they're going to miss. Now, if you trade him, here's another thing about that. If you trade Darius Garland, I'm assuming you're trading Darius Garland for a wing, because that's the only reason. That's the only way it makes sense to do it. You see what I'm saying? You're having somebody else be the point guard who's maybe isn't as good as Darius, but could do some other things.
Who's the wing you would go after?
I've always said Brandon Ingram. What's the guy I thought like? I've always said Brandon Ingram
with Darius.
Deal with Darius. Like I was like, okay, let's go get Brandon Ingram. Maybe there's a younger guy they try to go after for a team that needs a point guard. And I always said that Darius would be better. Like Darius is better when he's healthy and he has his own team and he's doing his own thing. So if you could trade him to another team that could use a guy like that for a younger wing who's also very good, I could see them doing that. But as far as Evan, it's kind of like until he shows that he needs the ball more, he's always going to be the third or fourth option.
That's the thing. Like, I think eventually you need to put Evan in a spot where producing offensively isn't optional in order for him to take that next step.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, if you want him to take that next step, if you really think he can take that next step, like he's gonna have to, like, necessity is something of, I've fucked up the whole saying, but necessity breeds innovation, right? And right now he doesn't need to score every night. And I just wonder if he were put in a situation for a whole season where there was pressure on him to score, would that be something that can kind of accelerate or push forward his development? Because his advanced numbers and his efficiency is going up. The production's similar than what it's been for the last couple of years, but he's getting it cleaner. And I'm just like, eventually you got to see if you need him to put out 20 and 10 on a given day, you need to see if he can do that. It can't be theoretical. Like, you can't be like, oh, his per 36, he can do this and that. Like, you need to know if he can put up those kind of numbers on a consistent basis. And I don't think you will until you empower him in the offense to do that. Now, it's a risk to take, right? Because I mean, like Darius is a 20-point per game scorer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like a 8 or 9 assist guy too.
yeah, he's a good facilitator. He's a really good talent. Go off, and in the playoffs, he was the only one that showed up. So, it's gonna be a tough choice, but I do think some calculations like that are necessary, right? And that's why some people feel like they could make some of these moves and get better, because it might not just be about getting rid of that player, but what opportunities that opens up for other guys to develop. I think that's why so many people are so thirsty to get Jared Allen out of there, because they think that somehow that's going to make Evan Mobley like play bigger.
His stats would be better without Jared, but would the team be better? That's always the question I ask.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the team would be better without Jared. Like, I don't get rid of Jared until I got a real replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
there's no reason for them to get,
because he's not taking anything away from Evan Mobley. He's just helping Evan Mobley be in a position to be a really good defender. So the problem is he's just not that big. Like, you just need somebody bigger in that role, if that's what it's going to be, so that if you do have a Mitchell Robinson, it does not become a problem. But yeah, I just wonder with that, like, at some point we got to see if Evan can take a higher load of the shots and like produce. But in order to do that, because you've done a good job at drafting, it requires like letting some pieces go. There's some pieces. But like, I think every team has a crossroads like this, right? Like, at some point, Denver had to pick between Jokic and Nurkic.
Made the right decision.
Hey, was not a guarantee when they made that move.
100% made the right decision.
Yeah. But they had to make decisions like that. Okay, we're going to let this person shoot more. We're going to get this guy the ball more. Every team has those kind of moves. I think even Milwaukee had to do something similar to get, what's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Chris Middleton, more opportunity to shoot, to see what he is. And I think that's where the Cavs are. They got to figure out who they're going to choose, why they're going to choose those spots, and who they're going to empower when they choose whoever they choose. And if they're right, they'll be a really competitive team for a while. If they're not, well, another one goes wrong, dog, and wouldn't be the first in the NBA. So it's a tough situation, but this is the, you know what this is? This is the puberty part of an NBA team developing, right? When you first start to get good, it's exciting. It's like, oh, he walking, he talking, he learned how to write and shit. This is crazy. This is that awkward teenage 12-year-old state that the Cavs are in, where they're like getting older, but they ain't anywhere close to where they're going to have to be. And it's kind of fucking annoying. Like, seeing them be in this awkward spot where they're trying to figure it out. But they got to go through it. And I think that takes a trial and error process. And they're going to have to figure out, like, who really needs to be here, who doesn't. And I don't know if the answer is Darius going. It might be Donovan. like
it depends. It literally just depends on what's going on. But I want to read you off his stats. Because like Evan Mobley's stats to me are funny. So 21-22, 34 minutes a game, rounding up, 0.508% from the field. So about 51% from the field, 25% from three, 66% from the line, 8 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 0.8 steals, 1.7 blocks, right? 15 points per game. 22-23, 34.4 minutes a game, 55 from the field, 3-point percentage dipped to 21%.
I remember that.
Free throw percentage 67, so it went up a little bit. 9 rebounds went up a little bit. 2.8 assists went up a little bit. Steals stayed the same, 0.8. Blocks went down a little bit. It was 1.5. Now, this season, biggest issue so far, he's only played 40 games. He's been injured. But minutes, only 30.7. So playing 4 less minutes a game. Field goal percentage, 58% from the field. 3-point percentage, he's at 33 right now.
It's getting decent.
Free throw percentage, 70. So he's gotten better. Total rebounds. Now keep in mind, he's playing 4 less minutes a game. 10 even.
It's clean.
Assists, 3.1. Playing 4 less minutes a game. Steals, 0.9. Blocks, 1.5. Again, all of this, in points, 15.6. Again, all of this, 4 less minutes a game on the court.
Also, like, I was talking to Tony about this a while ago, and I was like, I think a lot of like the shooting stuff we're concerned with Evan Mobley, like that'll go away if he gets heavier. Because like I think people underestimate how much weight affects a jumper. Like it's not something we think about, but like guys need to, like, LeBron was a much better shooter later in his career than he was in Miami because he was playing at like 280 in Miami. Like there's an optimal weight for shooting for whatever reason. I can't explain it to you, but it's a real thing. Like shooting coaches talk about it all the time. And I think with Evan, like he has all the fundamentals that have a good jumper. He just hasn't grown into it yet. Right. Like I think he's slowly but surely growing into that jumper. I think that's why like free throw percentage is going up. All of these shooting percentages are going up. And I think by next year, he'll be closer to what he's going to be like his walk around weight as an adult. So I think they got to make I don't think they got to make a choice, but I think they got to start making a more concerted effort to make him a bigger part of that offense. Because I don't know. I don't love that for pretty much most of his career, scoring's been optional for him. And I worry about that becoming an issue later in his career if he does develop into that superstar type player. And there's times where he disappears because he falls back into that habit of like, okay, I'm gonna just let them cook. You know,
I think that's one of the drawbacks of being a young player on a team that's good.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what happened with like Kuminga and dudes on the Warriors, where it's like there's just not that much opportunity because already so many spots, and they really need to win right now. And it's like if the Cavs were a team like who's like the Pacers, they like the 7-8 seed or whatever. If the Cavs were like in the play-in perennially, like not a team that you expect to be in the top 4 of the East, they would have room to do shit like this. But you're in this weird place where you're trying to feel like a contender, but you're also definitely not a contender. And that can be a very dangerous place for an NBA team to be when it comes to trying to break that, because you can get caught there so easily.
It's stuck there forever.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I guess like the two players I would look at, and even in his draft class, Scotty Barnes and Jalen Green.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The Raptors are not good. Scotty has the freedom to just go out there and do what he does. And with Jalen Green, he hasn't really been good. He hadn't really been good up until this point, but something in the last month with him has clicked, and he is frying teams right now. Frying teams right now. Oh, what? I tried to clean it up.
I'm just saying that's a bad coincidence, dog. Even I know about that.
Listen, I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, something did click.
You know, children are a powerful motivator. That's all I'm saying. He playing like he need
plural.
He playing like he need that money because he need that money. He need that money. You know what I'm saying?
What's the old Dave Chappelle joke? Play for your freedom.
Ooh, but, hey, whatever happened, it's working.
Hey. Again, you know, he need to score. Like, it's not optional, right?
He on his
Necessity
Latrell-
has
he
a
on his
way.
Latrell Sprewell.
Hey, necessity has a way of creating innovation, right? You ain't, hey, we can all relate to this. We've all written a paper for school. You got 2 weeks on it. You can't think of nothing. But man, when you down to that last 4 hours, you start becoming Maya Angelou and that. You start typing all them ideas coming to your head, and you try to link them up to everything. And all of a sudden, now you done figured it out. Ain't nothing like pressure to bring what is needed out of you. And I think we're at that point with Evan where it's like, hey, they need to put a little bit more pressure on the man to score because I think he can do it. He's really good. And I think it's so unfair how people treat him because it's like, y'all want him to be in a position he's not even in yet. Because if this were a case where like the Cavs are putting pressure on him to perform offensively and then he wasn't doing it, okay, whatever. Like the criticism is there. But that's clearly not the case.
Like imagine if he just started hijacking possessions because he was trying to score the ball. He would get killed.
I would be furious. I'd be furious.
People would be beyond angry if he was doing that. He's costing us games and why is
you saw Evan Mobley run to the top of key.
like, dude, what you doing?
To the screen. What?
Like
y'all get mad whenever Evan Mobley take the fast break all the way to the hoop
and score.
Yeah. Why didn't he look for Max on the outlet? Not understanding how ridiculous it is that you can ask him to do that. Okay.
Like he had 8 assists last night. I was like, bro, I feel like people don't watch him. I feel like people don't watch him.
So, like, I got another question with Evan. Ideally, like, do you think he's one of those bigs that you need to play through too? Like not Jokic, but like, you know how Jokic kind of, you need to play through him, or is he going to be kind of a complementary piece to somebody who's going to be a primary? Like, how do you use him to get the most out of him? Because I don't feel like we're even close at all to using him offensively to get the most out of him.
It's like, I've always felt like he was an underrated passer. I always felt like he could facilitate and get guys good looks more than people gave him credit for. But when he's playing with Darius, when he's playing with Donovan, the opportunities for him to create for himself or for others, like he's not going to have a lot of opportunities to do that. It's a conundrum they find themselves in where they have all of these players who are some level of good, but do the pieces fit? Is it gonna work long term? Like those are questions the Cavs are gonna have to ask themselves and answer in the offseason, bro. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Because I'm gonna put this out there. I don't think we should make any assumptions about anybody at all. What I mean by that is just because Donovan Mitchell wants to come back here, I don't assume that the Cavs need to do it. They might, they probably will, but there's a lot to evaluate here, right? Like there's a ton to evaluate. They might look at it and be like, hey, this core is not going to do it. There's too many fundamental issues with the lineups that we have to run out there.
I'm starting to feel like that's where they're at with it. Like, hey, we got to make a decision here.
And it's like,
hey, you're not going to pick Darius over Donovan either.
You're not going to pick Darius over Donovan, right? Like Darius would obviously be the odd man out if Donovan Mitchell wants to stay. But also, like, then what do you put Donovan? Do you let him kind of play make like you were earlier in the year when everybody else was hurt and it was really working? Is that something that's going to work in the playoffs? Is Donovan Mitchell somebody you really want to rely on in that kind of way? Who do you put around him? Do you put a Coro at the 2, let him play the 1, like, and try to get bigger at the 3? Like, how do you maneuver around this to build the right team? And who is it built around? Because is it built around Donovan Mitchell and his strengths, or do you build an offense that you feel like might not be the best thing for today, but if Evan Mobley develops properly, will be the best thing for tomorrow? Because what's easy is to go, hey man, let's put Donovan Mitchell in a position to succeed. But I don't mean to sound mean when I say this, but we've seen where that goes. Second round, maybe an Eastern Conference final, but like you're not gonna win a chip like that. Like Donovan's good. He's almost an MVP caliber player, but if James Harden can't get over the hump, it ain't gonna happen with Donovan. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
ask yourself, and Cavs fans in here, ask yourself a serious question. When's the last time a small guard was the best player on the championship team? And do not say Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is not small.
well, Steph Curry.
He's also the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah.
But he's not small. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a small guard for real. I think he's like 6'3" or 6'4", something like that. He's like 6'3" or something like that.
Well, I mean, either way you label it, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas are exceptions.
That's it.
Nobody is saying that Donovan Mitchell is Steph Curry or Isaiah Thomas. And that's the thing. You can do it, but it requires you being Zeke or Steph.
2 of the 3 greatest point guards of all time is what it requires.
Yes. And in the case of Zeke, it requires playing basketball in a completely different era. like yeah.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
So that's the thing. Like, and when I say build around, I'm like, if you build your team around the ideal that Donovan Mitchell's the best you got, and we gonna win this thing through Donovan Mitchell. Hey man, that was hard to do with Kobe. like Donovan ain't Kobe, and Kobe was 6'8", like was 6'6".
6'6". Listen, you either gotta have a generational wing player or a generational big man. Preferably both.
That's nuts. Who got both?
Lakers. Kobe and Shaq.
Oh yeah. Okay. You talking about? I thought you talking about current.
No, and let's say you either need generational wing player or players. Because remember, the Pistons had Mike and Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
We always leave Scotty out, but they had Mike and Scotty. You know, Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. You know, all the teams that had Bron. Spurs had Tim Duncan.
Hey,
you see what I'm saying?
Toronto got rid of DeMar, threw in
Kawhi. And won.
And won it all.
Even the Warriors, KD, Steph.
And Klay Thompson is 6'8".
Klay Thompson.
Like, we don't talk enough about Klay Thompson's role in all of this.
Yeah, the second greatest shooter of all time was also on those rosters. Yeah.
Also shut down defender
before he got hurt. Yeah.
Like at 6'8". Like
that's what made Kyrie hitting that shot.
Kyrie was like, "Oh, I got Steph." He was tired of seeing Klay. But
he fried Klay one game though.
Mm-hmm.
Fried him.
Also had Andre Iguodala. I mean, like a lot of reasons why you were able to do that with Steph, given the support around you. That team had like 3-4 different 6'8" defenders who could get out on that wing and do what needs to be done. We got Marcus Morris. Okay.
Like, you got to be real with yourself, man. This team can't win a title. They can't do it.
So I think the only shot you have is around Evan Mobley. And if I'm the Cavs, I think it's worth it. Like, you done got this team. You done got Evan Mobley a taste of winning and all that. Like, do what's right for him and make every decision around that. Because you're only going to go but so far chasing Darius Garland being your best player. You're only going to go but so far chasing Donovan Mitchell being your best player. But if you chase Evan Mobley being your best player, that's the one route that has potential to pan out and really pan out for this team. But
or Trade for a wing.
But even trading for that wing, right? Like,
Got to trade for the right one though.
that would be about getting more out of Mobley. Like, because even if you got a good wing, you got Donovan Mitchell, you got Evan Mobley, you have a good team. You beating the Celtics with that?
Probably not.
No, he can't be. You'll
Celtics got two good wings.
Yeah.
Celtics got two good wings.
Even
Real
if
good
you
wings.
somehow finagle Brandon Ingram. Like, I don't think he's doing it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. It's just, I think this Cavs team has a lot of steps to take, a lot of growth to take. And I'm more into watching the process. And I think this is a pretty awkward part of the process where, there's a lot of hope that it's going to go like this and everybody going to scale up and you could do it with the two small guards and the two tall man, but not big man bigs. And now this is the painful, crushing reality blow for the Cavs that's probably not going to work. And that this core that they built and that they like, it's going to have to be broken up, right? There's going to have to be some tough decisions being made. And it's not all going to happen at once. It's going to happen piece by piece. And then one day you're going to wake up and realize that this Cavs team is completely different. Hopefully in a good way.
Hey, let's get to the rest of these super chats. It's 3 hours?
We still got them. We
3
still
hours?
got them.
Yeah, we still got them.
Got 3
Shout out
more.
to Greg for not falling asleep, man.
We got Ray Rags, Q. Sean Kemp has to be a case for top 10 Cavs. Kev is definitely top 5.
Sean Kemp has a case for top 10 Cav. Get out of here.
He might for real though. He might for real.
No. Sean Kemp is not a Cav. Okay.
He's a supersonic. He's a supersonic.
Sean Kemp definitely don't want you to think of him as a Cavalier.
Yeah. He's a supersonic for sure. Supersonic for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Another from Ray Rags.
Hey, does Drew Gooden have a case for top 10 Cavalier?
Hey, read the super chat, Greg.
What about Zydrunas Ilgauskas?
He might have a case.
I feel like he does more than Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was obviously better, but Z was,
Was Sean Kemp better? Like, Sean Kemp was better with his whole career. But if we just talk about what Sean Kemp was doing in Cleveland, ain't none of them highlights you remember him being in Cleveland. Wearing that net. Like, all them highlights got supersonics on it. You know the one where he dunked on somebody at point? Yeah. Only highlight about Cleveland is the video clip of him being on a sports talk show talk about I cried when I got traded to Cleveland. He's definitely not a Cav.
Yeah, he definitely just off that alone, he can't be a Cav.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, sir.
Absolutely not.
No
way.
But Ray Rag says, also not saying he doesn't need to improve, but people act like he's in his 6th year in the NBA and he hasn't even finished his 3rd year yet. The team got to get good fast for his development.
They did get that's what I'm saying, bro. They got too good too fast. Where it's like, okay, what you're doing right now wins games, so that's what we need you to do.
And Colb, you know what's the crazy thing? It's Evan Mobley's fault that they got too good too fast. Like, they weren't on track to be decent until Evan Mobley showed up. And that's when they start, like, it is I hope they understand this. They didn't get better once Jared Allen was on the team. They didn't get better when they drafted Darius Garland. They both became really good players, but the player that immediately had a transformative reaction to your franchise was Evan Mobley.
Yes.
And then second to that, Donovan Mitchell. But like, it is what it is.
All right.
We got
2 more.
Two more. Ray Rags. This sounds stupid, and it's their best hope for the wing position from within the organization is if Amani Bates develops.
I mean, that's why they drafted him. I hope if he pans out, that's somebody that can help. Even with that.
From a scoring standpoint, for sure.
From a scoring standpoint, that's somebody that can help it. Even with that, the best teams in the league have multiple wings who are good.
Also, hate to be the guy who brings this up, because we all want to be super positive on the Amani Bates thing. if we're talking about needing to get rid of Darius Garland to open up more shots for Evan Mobley because Darius might be a little bit too ball dominant to have opportunities for Evan to develop, is Amani Bates really gonna get minutes in that kind of situation?
Sniper. He needs a ball.
Shoots a lot. Real ball dominant. Can put up points, but you know what Amani Bates gives me? One of those dudes that be really fun on a not so great team. Like, remember Rudy Gay?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like, a volume scorer is what they used to call him.
I wonder if Imani can be a guy
who can just like spot up threes.
Who can thrive on a good team. I don't know if he can.
I think he can if he's the best player on that good team.
He's not going to.
But
be the best
he's
player.
not going to be the best player on a good NBA team. So that's going to be something like I hope they're teaching him that in the G League. Like I know that
can he buy into a supporting role on a good team? That's what I want to see. Can he do? Or
does he even have the skill set to perform a supporting role? Some guys just can't shoot off the some guys can't just shoot unless they go off the dribble. Like they need that rhythm to get the shot straight. And it's like that's another question. Like, does he have the skill set that you can have? Or is he like Ricky Davis, where he's good enough to be the best player on a bad team, but he's pretty useless on a good team?
Oh man, Ricky Davis.
Yeah,
name I heard. Hey, in a minute.
One of my favorite Cavs of all time, and definitely on that top 10 list. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Dion Waiters, baby, peak, best player to have on a bad team. Okay. Okay.
Oh man, shout out Dion Waiters, NBA champion Dion Waiters.
Hey, there will be no Dion slander. Chat. Did he win it with the Lakers?
Yeah, he won one with
Ron
the Lakers.
Got him that ring. He promised.
Shout out D.
Yeah. Hey, I will never forget this. I'll bring it up every time his name comes up. Made a game-winning shot in Miami in front of D. Wade. It is stepped on the scorer's table in American Airlines Arena and looked at Wade in the eyes and told him, "This mine." Hey, we don't build them with that kind of audacity anymore.
It used to mean more back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I want to know what Dwayne Wade was thinking, man.
Hey, he played in Miami after that. Played in Miami after
he was
that.
like, I gotta get back. They done lost their mind.
We got one last one here from Ray Rags. Kemp averaged 18, 20, and 18 in his 3 seasons and got MVP votes in his 2nd season.
Ooh.
Damn, he was cooking?
I didn't realize he was cooking like that. He said the very next comment is not real MVP votes, but MVP votes nonetheless. Oh, he was getting them 6th, 7th place MVP votes.
He was getting them local journalists wrote in Sean Kemp.
Listen, they still count. I ain't no hater.
I would like to point out that Zydrunas Ilgauskas does have his jersey retired with the Cleveland Cavaliers. No one will ever wear number 11 again.
He should. He deserves it.
Hey, man, if we retire Wild Things number, I'm out.
Oh, no Verjao slander. Don't do that.
No, I like Verjao, but like we can't just be retiring his number. Like he was cool. But the most miserable time of my Cavs fandom was watching Anderson Verjao be a pivotal point to the Cavs offense. Remember that? Remember after LeBron left? Mm-hmm. Anderson Verjao was asked to get 15 and 10?
Yeah.
Oh! You think Evan Mobley can't score? Imagine watching Wild Thing flop around trying to get 15. Ooh. Ooh. Nah, you don't get your number retired for that. Like, if his number gets retired, huh?
They better retire Kyrie number.
If they retire 17 but don't retire 2, I'm out. I'm out.
I think it's a little bit different because Z played here for 15 years and was immediately averaging like 13, 14 points a game. Anderson Verjao was like, what, 5 points a game? Like,
Z out here on the homeboy pool. Like, we retired Z because Bron liked him. He was Bron's favorite player. And he was this big Lithuanian motherfucker on the team making jumpers. Like, we liked him. He couldn't run. He couldn't jump. But you know what? He was good for that no jump foul line shot. And it was butter in NBA Live too. Look, we all know why Z in the Ring of Fame. He was a good, solid player that we really fucked with in Cleveland.
Hey, no shame in that.
Hey, and he did it for 15 years. Edison Varejao did not put in the proper amount of time, and he was not as good as Z. Okay.
I think one of my favorite Cavs seasons of all time was when they had Shaq and they would run Z and Shaq out there at the same time with their big, slow, just like LeBron doing everything.
Hey, man, Mike Brown is actually a defensive genius. And the fact that was his solution for Dwight Howard in his prime, like, always cracks me up. Like, this is really like the NBA's best and brightest. What the fuck was he thinking?
No, I always respect the Shaq days because if it wasn't for the Shaq Cavs days, we never would have got that Kevin Hart special. That Kevin Hart special when he was making fun of them.
How you fall?
He said everything Shaq do is dramatic.
Then the legs come up.
Oh man, I might watch that Kevin Hart special.
Look, man, most impactful thing Shaq did after he left the Heat, okay, was set up Kevin Hart for that generational home run. Had LeBron in there dying.
Ooh, I forgot he filmed that in Cleveland too,
hey,
man. Ooh,
hey,
that was a
watching LeBron laugh like one of my uncles. Representation matters, right? Like, I never felt more normalized than that. Okay, LeBron. By the way, like, LeBron is LeBron in this little ass theater. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, Greg. He is going at it with the laughing. Like, he is up and down, grabbing Savannah. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody thought they was going to die while Kevin Hart was on that role. Like, that was...
I can't believe... Hey, man, we got to stop acting like Kevin Hart was never funny. Like,
that's nuts to me.
Hilarious.
Like, hey, Kevin Hart was the funniest man on earth for like 5 years. like pretty much from that first special until he did the one in Lincoln Financial Field. Yeah, man, that was it. That was a generational run of shit. And stop acting like y'all didn't watch Ride Along. Okay.
Ride Along was funny.
Yes. Stop acting like y'all didn't laugh at the CIA movie with The Rock. And y'all gonna tell me y'all ain't fuck with Jumanji? Okay. Jumanji too.
Oh, Ray Rags, we going out on this one. We going out.
It's crazy that Ray Rags just sent this because I swear to God, I'm literally on the Wikipedia page for Antoine Jamison right now because I was just thinking about this. But Ray Rags says, "I will forever hate that we could have had Amari Stoudemire, but we got over the hill Antoine Jamison over J.J. Hickson."
Yeah, man, all time blunder from the Cavs.
You think Amari
probably contributed to why Brown was like, I need to get up out of here.
The funny thing about that is, like, I always hear this being brought up, but I'm like, 2009 LeBron and Amari Stoudemire sounds like a horrible fit.
I don't think it would have been horrible.
I don't know. They're both slashers. You already had a shooting problem on those teams. You're going to clog up the lane. Where is Z going to go? Z can't go past 10 feet. Like, who are you starting if you're starting Amari Stoudemire there? Like, hey, I've always thought about that. I'm like, it would have been better. But would it have really been good? Like, I think LeBron would have been there and like, oh, this ain't it. Because you know what fit like a glove? Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Like, oh man, I don't think there was anything you gonna do to compete with that, dog. I don't think he was gonna look at Amari Stoudemire like, yeah, I want this.
I hear what you're saying. They still should have done it.
Yeah, they should have. That's what I'm saying. It should have happened no matter what. Yeah, I don't think it really would have worked out, but it would have been more worth trying than just saying, all right, Bron, let's see if you can luck one out, and then you win a championship and don't want to fucking leave.
Ray Rags is right about this. The pick and roll with Bron and Amari would have been nuts.
No, it would have been good. That would have been pretty hard. But
that would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been. I didn't think about that. I'm thinking about them being on opposite sides of the court. Now that would have been pretty useful.
It would have been a lot of dunks either way.
Yeah. Still think they would have ran into some issues in the playoffs, but
a lot of dunks either way, dog.
Well, was that after KG's knee injury? Like, because it depends on what KG would go up against in the playoffs too.
So 2000 was it? No, it was 2010.
Yes,
it was JJ Hicks. So that's 2010. So that's when they lost to the. That's when they lost to the Celtics.
Yes, in 5.
Yeah,
but I don't think that was KG at that point.
Oof, I don't know.
Because KG, ooh, I don't know. But KG with the bad knee, yeah, that might have went off. That might have. You would have definitely had a better ending to that first Cavs run at the very least.
Yeah.
You would have felt like you gave it a try. And then you would have had a very disgruntled Amari Stoudemire playing with Mo fucking Williams.
Do you guys remember the weird trade circumstances that even led to Antoine Jamison in the first place?
No.
How they traded. I was thinking about it because we were just talking about him. We traded Zydrunas Ilgauskas for him, but then the Wizards it was like Z and like a second round pick, and then the Wizards just immediately waived him, and then 30 days after that, the Cavs signed him back, and then the NBA made that rule like after that season that you can't do that anymore. And they called it the Zydrunas Ilgauskas loophole, which is why Andrew, like, it was a whole thing with Andrew Bogut and the Warriors later on.
Oh, man, we got a loophole named after us? That's crazy. Good job, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Good job, Cleveland.
Because I remember that because it basically ended up that we traded for Antoine Jamison for, like, nothing. It was like a late second-round pick.
All right. So,
hey, man, that's what's up. You know what? We're going to leave on a positive note about the Cavs. We're not going to leave y'all no depressed ass Antoine Amari Stoudemire note. You remember that motherfucker on the mat? I mean, on the Knicks.
Who?
Yeah.
He retired as a Knick, right? He signed a one-day contract, didn't he? To retire as a Knick.
Don't know why he did that. He must got beef with Phoenix. That's what that tells me. He got beef with Phoenix because they did not like him in New York.
Man. Oh, man.
Yeah, they liked him in Miami more than they liked him. And they liked him in the Big Three more than they liked him in New York. But
man,
he was a ball. He was balling. He was a bucket in the Big Three when he was in there. They still do that?
I think so.
Huh. I might have to check it out again. But thank you guys for watching. We will leave you here. This was supposed to be a fucking short show. You know what?
We gotta stop saying it's supposed to be a short show.
We're gonna talk about it being a long show. It's gonna be a long one, guys. Strap in, and we might get out of here in an hour and a half.
We started the show late, 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Hey man, hey, Professor Chaos has been in here for a whole shift.
Hey, y'all said y'all like y'all like the longer podcast, so you got it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it.
Why somebody telling me to say pause?
I don't know.
You know what? I'll figure out a replay. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.